There we are.
All right. Welcome, everyone. This is episode 5. Episode 5 of the R.A.T group. Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 2.
Yep. Phase 2.
And I'm joined once again by Thomas, a.k.a. HorrorFan34.
What is going on, guys? How y'all doing out there?
And, of course, I'm joined by the Super Koopa cousins, Rob and Dan.
The Illinois cousins.
AKA movie review time and Rocky Balboa 101. How's everyone doing tonight?
Doing good.
Good. Ready to talk some Phase 2.
It's it's all about Marvel tonight. All about Marvel. So
It's always about Marvel.
But yeah, let's get that straight. It's all about, even though we saw Shazam, but you know what? Let's Shazam.
DC show coming in a few months.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Hey,
Yeah, that'd be great.
Hey.
It won't be a 5. I don't think it will be a 5-hour show for the DCU. It's only been a few movies. You know?
Right?
Well, they have 7 now, so that's kind of a phase. This one has 6.
Like one phase. Yeah.
One phase.
Yep.
Yeah.
Phase.
Okay.
Yep.
So starting off with Phase 2 was in 2013. Iron Man 3. A controversial movie. I think this is.
I might as well just cancel out of this live stream right now and walk away.
I thought about the same thing.
Wow.
All right, you're already getting the sense of how the review for this one's gonna be. And this is gonna be the first movie of the night for us.
That is, we all, I think, have different opinions on this one.
Yeah. So you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna let Rob talk about this one first, since I think he has the most to say.
Go ahead, Rob.
Oh, wow.
No, you did. You have good. I mean, you have good points. I mean.
Okay. Well, I don't even know where to start, to be honest. Okay. Let's just talk about how Tony Stark in this movie is dealing with what happened after the first Avengers. Now, I like that stuff. I like the fact that he's having trouble sleeping. And after what happened when he went into the wormhole or whatever, and he saw what he saw, so it's always been his mind. I like that. That whole thing is great. Now let's get on to the things I don't like, which is like 90%. Let's see. Okay, they went with the extremist storyline, which is a bunch of people who have this inner, like, what do they call it? Like inner fire to them, to where they can explode onto people. It's the extremists. That's what the comics state it as. So I thought that was fine. Wasn't really a big deal, to be honest. But the whole thing with the kid, where he finds this kid, I think could have been cut a lot. A lot of that could have been cut out. And he was off by himself a lot, where he, didn't have any suits anymore, and he had to rely on like other stuff to get him by, which I thought was cool. Like when he put all those stuff he got at the hardware store together to make weapons. I thought that was cool. That was like one of my favorite parts, is when he goes into that, what is that mansion or whatever, and he takes these guys out with like stuff that he makes, like homemade stuff. I thought that was good. But I didn't like Guy Pearce's character, Aldrich Killian, or whatever his name is. And yeah, I just thought the movie had just too many, I want to say, pacing issues. There's just, there's things they could have done better, I think.
What about Ben Kingsley?
He would have been fine if he was not going to be such a stupid liar in the movie. Like he wasn't playing like he was an actor playing being an actor. Like, so he was playing a role. So he basically lied about being the Mandarin. We're talking about one of the most biggest villains of Iron Man, the Mandarin. He's even bigger than Whiplash. So the fact that he's not Mandarin, and then Aldrich Killian is supposed to be the Mandarin. He even says he's the Mandarin, but then he turns out not to be the Mandarin.
According to that short film they did afterwards, right?
I have this book right here that goes over every single Marvel character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And if you look up Aldrich Killian in this, it says nothing about him being the Mandarin in this book either. So, the Mandarin's still out there. I just don't see the point of lying twice. They lied to us twice in that movie.
But you know what though?
Book?
No,
Okay.
he's not.
So yeah,
You know-
So
it's-
I don't know.
yeah.
Just
Go ahead.
there's just some major stuff I just don't like, I guess, about it.
Does anyone know why they went that route with the Manchurian Candidate?
I do, but
Manchurian Candidate with Denzel Washington is a better movie than Iron Man.
Yeah, that's true.
I have an answer, but I'll let the negative opinions go first.
Downstairs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's
So-
I actually like Iron Man 3. I think more than the second
Shut the
movie.
door.
So I'm on the more positive end of that one.
Okay, let's have Thomas go because he doesn't like the movie. I think.
Yeah, this movie, I can go for hours and hours about this piece of garbage. Um,
Oh, damn!
because the thing is,
Low.
well, the thing is, I like with what Rob said with Iron Man 3, how Tony Stark is dealing with all the stuff that happened after the first Avengers. Okay, I like that stuff. Like, I agree with that. But it's just like everything around that, though, like the Mandarin twist, like I didn't, like, I don't know why they went that route with the Mandarin twist. Freaking guy, and you talk about Guy Pearce as Killian. He's Jim Carrey 2.0 from Batman Forever.
Yes, I forgot that. Yes, I was gonna say that. It's a complete copy.
He's got, like, he looks just like Enigma.
and he's obsessed with Iron Man.
First scene that you see Guy Pearce, he's like, Tony Stark, I'm a big fan of yours. I'm like, oh my God, is this Jim Carrey's twin?
I swear to God, it is.
Like, you know, he's got like the long hair, he's got weird teeth and the glasses, and he's all the geeky scientist guy, and you know, it's just
awkward,
like, it's like it's Jim Carrey from Batman Forever all over again. I'd rather watch that than this because Jim Carrey was actually entertaining. Guy Pearce seemed like he was trying to do Jim Carrey 2.0.
And he wanted to know about his work, and he wanted to work with him, just like in Batman Forever. You wanted to know.
Yeah, it was like the same thing. It was like you had this prestigious billionaire, whether it be Tony Stark or Bruce Wayne, and then you have the geeky scientist guy, whether it be Jim Carrey or Guy Pearce, and of course the rich guy blows him off, so that leads to the nerdy guy getting revenge. Only in the later he looks better, like what Jim Carrey looked like at the party with Two-Face. Like he looked better. His
into a hot guy.
Yeah, it was just like Batman Forever all over again. I really think Shane Black took a lot of notes from Batman Forever.
Yeah. Good point.
That was the main thing. It was like I remember even when I first saw this back in 2013, I was thinking to myself, "Oh my God, did they copy that from Batman Forever? Like, is that Jim Carrey?"
They did that, and they made Spider-Man 2 as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
with Electro, yeah.
Yeah.
Electro was like Jim Carrey as well.
Yeah.
About my birthday.
So are you saying that you like the movie, Thomas?
No, I don't like this movie at all. This movie,
So it sounds like you hated it more than Rob did. That's surprising.
this stinks. It stinks.
Well, I pointed out a couple things I liked, but I mean that still doesn't take away.
Well, the thing is, like I did the same thing as Rob did. You know, I pointed out a few things that I like. You know, Tony Stark dealing with events after the Avengers. I like that, but it's like everything around that I don't like. Like I don't like the way Guy Pearce was like Edward Nygma 2.0. I didn't like the Mandarin twist. And on top of that, too, like there is way too much comedy in this movie. Way too much. It kind of felt more like a comedy than an Iron Man movie.
Well, wait. I didn't mention this. Are you going to say the same thing about the ending? I mean, there's going to be spoilers, obviously, but the ending.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're spoiling all these movies, by the way.
They finally say, "Oh, let's take out his thing and do surgery," and they take it out, and he's fine now. He's like, why didn't they do that before? Like, why all of a sudden now?
That's what I don't understand either.
He was sick in Iron Man 2. He was dying, actually. And then here's Nick Fury giving him whatever his kind of serum or whatever. Oh, in Iron Man 3, oh, well, you know what? We're going to take it out. Okay. Well, Well, that fixes everything. Shit. You know?
Well, that'll bring up another question I have also with the one, Alex, with why they did that with the Manchurian Candidate in this film. But I would also like to know why.
Manchurian Candidate.
Yeah, like what? I would like to know if there is a reason why they did that. They removed the arc reactor from Iron Man because really, it came out of nowhere. It really did. All of a sudden, it was just at the end of the movie, right? All of a sudden, like, oh, hey, we can take care of this. I don't think through the rest of the movie it was ever brought up, right?
Well, no, the reason they did it is because Pepper was infected with that extremist stuff, so they were doing surgery on her, but at the same time, he was getting that out of him.
Right,
so it's like.
But did at any time in the movie did they hint that that was a possibility, or was it just at the end of the film?
It was just at the end.
Right. So I wonder if does anyone know of a reason why they did that?
No, I actually have no answer for that.
I actually
He doesn't have his toys anymore. Now but he's still Iron.
You have a point there. I can't back that up. But I'll let Dan go next, I guess.
Okay. So I pretty much agree with every point that you guys made. Honestly.
What?
Yes.
But
yes.
There's a but in there because I still I'm not honestly I didn't think Iron Man 2 or 3 were that strong of films, but I still put Iron Man 3 over 2, I guess, and that's why I think I'm more on the positive end because I think you liked 2 better than 3,
I did,
right?
yeah.
And then Thomas,
Yeah.
okay, I put 3 over 2, and I guess my reasons would be, it would kind of need to be to compare the 2. For one is, the PTS storyline I really liked in Iron Man 3, like the stress disorder, him dealing with the aftermath of one. I thought that was the strongest part of the film.
Yeah.
And I also liked, I don't know if detective work is the proper thing, but just the fact that in a movie like this where you take away his suit. Here's a perfect example: the movie The Wolverine with Hugh Jackman. Okay,
yeah.
You remember that film? They take his healing factor away.
Yep.
So like the whole movie, he's like walking around injured, and it was just kind of like, okay, you actually took something that's like a main part of Wolverine, and he doesn't have it the whole film. I feel like that hurt that film. This movie, I think it could have hurt the film, but I think Robert Downey is just such a powerful actor. I think he pulled it off to where it was kind of like, it sucks he doesn't have a suit, but I was into his storyline enough that it was okay. Like I felt like that was okay that he didn't have his suit through the film. So that was a positive for me. I also the kid didn't bother me, so I was okay with that. But I do agree. I did not like Guy Pearce, and the Mandarin. That was just like, what the hell? What was the point of that? I thought the end fight also was better than Iron Man 2. I didn't like the whole Whiplash. I just thought that finale in Iron Man 2 was bad. So I thought it was cool how he was jumping from suit to suit. I did like that. I think I mentioned this in the last podcast, but I've never been really a big fan of Pepper. I thought she was good in the first movie, but I didn't really care for her.
I remember you saying that, yeah.
Or the third, and like I didn't like that she, I felt like they were. I don't know how it is in the comics. I felt like they were forcing that character to like have a superpower, to like give her something. I don't know. That was kind of my. So that I didn't care for that either. That at the end she like had the power. I guess that would be. I think the Iron Man 2, like I felt that there was a lot of slowness in that film. I thought the pacing was okay in this film, so I would put Iron Man 3 over Iron Man 2. So I thought the movie was okay.
So did you think that the climax in Iron Man 2 was a little the ending was a little anticlimactic?
Yes, yeah, and I thought Iron Man 3's ending. I liked the whole like all the suits and
the battle was.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I agree.
I remember one of your older videos you were showing like some of your Blu-rays. I remember Iron Man 2 was one of them, and you said that the final battle was a little anticlimactic for you.
That's amazing that you know that because I have no recollection.
Dude, I'm telling you guys, Thomas has
a lot of stuff with our older.
Thomas is like the human encyclopedia of you guys' past videos.
Oh yeah. Like whenever I'm with.
There you go. There's like Edward Nigma.
It just says
The thing is, when
extreme enemy. That's what he's known for.
Extreme.
What was his name in the movie? Just that.
Aldrin Killian.
Aldrin Killian.
There's only one Killian. That's the Running Man. Sorry.
Oh my God.
So yeah, that's all. You know, like I said, it was Iron Man 3 inches out Iron Man 2 for me. And I think the movie's okay. I don't.
Okay. Well, okay. This is the chance where I tell you guys how you're all wrong, and this movie's a good movie.
Yeah.
Okay. No. Here's the thing. For years, I've been defending the movie. I still like it, but I kind of see where you guys are coming from now. Mostly the stuff with the kid. Yeah, watching it again. Yeah, you could have written that kid out and done. I see the point of what Shane Black was trying to go. Like, okay, here's a kid who looks up to, in a way, kind of like it's similar to Tony Stark. You know, he's kind of a smart kid, likes to build things. That's how Tony Stark started his job. So I see where they were going with, but they played it more for laughs.
They did it better with Spider-Man, I think.
Yeah, we'll get to Spider-Man eventually.
Spider-Man, he's an older kid, but I mean,
yeah. And this was before they get the rights to Spider-Man, so I think
that's true.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me that I'm gonna disagree with you guys about is the whole Mandarin thing, the Mandarin twist, and that goes to your Manchurian Candidate question, Dan.
Okay.
The point of that was Guy Pearce's character pretty much explains in the movie where like the Mandarin, the look of a terrorist, is what people see in a bad guy nowadays. You know, dirty beard, all that stuff, and then he's the men in suits are the real evil people in the world. They're the ones that run the show behind the scenes, and that was the point Shane Black was trying to make in the movie. I think he should have toned down a bit of the humor with the reveal.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I think that will work better for fans.
Yeah,
but
that's one thing.
But Ben Kingsley did a good job playing Trevor, the actor.
He's a good actor.
Because I gotta be honest, even the first time I saw it, every time he showed up as the Mandarin on TV, him acting all scary and stuff, like something wasn't clicking with me. Like something wasn't right. Like this guy, it feels like it felt underwhelming. Like, there's something like that. I thought to myself like there's something going. Like there's gotta be more to this, right? And then the twist happened. Like okay, I see. That's why, because he's just an actor pretending to be a bad guy. Yeah, like you guys mentioned the Tony Stark stuff with him suffering from trauma because the Avengers end battle. Like that stuff is good. That stuff is good, but again, it's like one of those things like
trauma.
Later on in the movie, they play it for laughs again. You know, that's I think that's the biggest problem with the movie is like there's a lot of good stuff in it, but Shane Black throws around a little too many jokes together with the serious stuff where it's not really needed. Especially when the kid comes in the story where he's like annoying Tony and then Tony's suffering from his anxiety. Right. And it's a get played for laughs at one point.
Mm-hmm.
But like I like this, but I still enjoyed the storyline with the Tony Stark and his past, how he made an enemy with Guy Pearce's character Killian, which is I don't mind the whole Edward Nigma thing he had going in the beginning. The problem is that we don't see the transition from him being nerdy to how he is in the rest of the movie, where you saw that with Edward Nigma and Batman Forever.
You see that in Batman Forever, yeah.
Because like time passes by, it's like, oh, how do you stop being socially awkward? Like he's a completely different person, you know. It's like where did that transition?
Mm-hmm.
How that went about? Like, okay.
He was more of a businessman.
So like, did he come to like the the Mandarin's terrorist group are all like still nerdy and like, hey, I wanna lead you guys, all that shit, It's like, they didn't really think it through.
The thing is, they could have called it something other than the Mandarin. That's what my point is. Like they came up with some other group name instead of doing the Mandarin thing.
Yeah, I guess
Manchurian candidates.
Yeah, I guess like Alex, just to clarify this too, because you had explained the Mandarin via Guy Pearce's character explaining how the terrorist would be more scary. It does make sense in the movie, but why did the film use that specific character? Because in the comics, he's real. He's real. So what was the point of why didn't they just have it be a generic terrorist? I guess over fooling the audience.
That's my point.
Well, it was just to fool the audience.
Yeah, I think that's
a twist. Yeah.
But then that's what I mean by doing it twice.
I think people
doing
are
it once,
upset about that.
Doing it once was, I guess, that was the point. But doing it twice,
because I don't think, as not a fan, I don't want to say not a fan of the comics, but not a reader of the comics. If I would have not known, because when the movie's coming out, everyone's talking about the Mandarin. Everyone's like, "Oh, this is like a great Iron Man character." Oh, okay. Then you go in and you find out, oh, okay, he's not really the Mandarin. That, I think, was a letdown to a lot of people. Now, it would have just been like a terrorist, and like they didn't give a name to it, and then it was revealed later on, like, oh yeah, this was an actor. That wouldn't. I don't think would have bothered as many people, right?
If they would have just stuck with just Aldrich Killian as just him, if they would have just stuck with just that instead of doing the whole Mandarin thing, I think it would have been fine, honestly.
Yeah, that was my question, why they specifically used a character that was well known in the comics and not have that character in the movie,
right?
But tell everyone he was in the movie. That was, I guess, my question.
It was just to do a twist.
Okay.
Do the whole, like I said, like do the whole, like, oh, terrorists look like this, but they actually look like this kind of thing. Like, this is the real world in a way.
Right.
Again, like Shane Black, he likes to do satire like that. So it goes with his his style. But there's one thing we totally forgot to mention when we were talking about Iron Man 1 is the Jensen character that helps Tony escape the cave. Like,
right.
He has a cameo because of him. And like, we have Iron Man, his suit and everything. He helped him out. He's the one who put the arc reactor in his chest. And you see him he cameo in the beginning where it shows like the New Year's party, 1999.
Yep.
Which I like the callback. Oh, that's cool. And they played one of my favorite guilty pleasure songs, Blue. When that song started playing when I was watching it the first time, I was like, oh shit, I heard that. Because it's been years since I heard that song. I'm like, oh, it's that song. Holy shit.
Oh my god.
I had to hear it on the radio all the time. One thing though, like they messed up though, like they didn't bring back the AC/DC songs. Which one? I thought that was a mistake. Looking back,
I do like Iron Man better than the Predator.
Yeah, that's for sure.
That's not Predator's a terrible movie.
Exactly.
I want to watch it a second time and get a fair assessment.
No, don't torture yourself.
Don't bother.
I own the other ones though. I gotta have the complete.
Just watch the first two.
I don't think the second movie is that great, honestly.
Oh, what?
I just recently watched it. There's a lot of mess ups in that movie.
That movie's so underrated though.
Which one?
Predator 2.
Predator 2 is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Manchurian candidate.
Yeah. But another thing we missed about the Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2, for that matter, was the character of Jarvis. We didn't even talk about him.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Paul.
What if I
Yeah, I mean, like, and all the other like Tony Stark's stuff he built, like what's that thing called? Dummy, whatever.
The what?
The the dummy. He calls that machine he has in his basement dummy. The one that kept shooting the fire extinguisher at him.
Oh yeah, like the.
Yeah.
The Wally type character. He always reminded me of Wally.
I don't remember the name of it, but I know what you're talking.
He always called it that thing dummy. So I guess that's the name of the machine. But you also mentioned the action scene at the end. That was, to me, like that's one of the best action scenes in the entire MCU. The whole Iron Man suits, all the suits fighting.
Better than the Avengers?
I'm not saying it's better than Avengers. I'm saying one of the best.
One of the best. Oh well.
Let's see. I would say it's one of the best of the ones we're gonna talk about tonight, for sure. And I like the whole, he built a bunch of suits, so it makes sense why he built like 30 something suits in the span of I don't know how long it's been, like a few months, right after the Avengers.
I think so. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
At least, and
Loads of
he's not sleeping. Well, he's not sleeping, so that's how he spends his nights building all these suits. So it makes sense that they're all kind of like rushed and they all break easily because he built them like very quickly without any.
Didn't he say watch the fireworks at the end? Wasn't he like watch the fireworks and all the suits?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He don't like being Iron Man no more.
No more.
Yeah.
I can't do this no more. Rocco.
But yeah, I mean, I think the movie's fine the way it is. Yeah, they made a few mistakes, but
trash garbage.
Honestly, it's not even that bad.
I don't. It's like I don't care anymore. No more.
I'm throwing it away.
It's not the worst Iron Man movie either.
Iron Man 3 made a ton of money. Like I remember, it was like one of the highest money makers of the series at that time.
That happens. It happens like a lot of these Marvel movies. That a lot of them make that much
But I think Iron Man 3 is still in the top half.
Yeah,
it's still in the top half.
Iron Man 3 made 409 domestically and 1.2 billion worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
Whew.
Coming off the first Avengers, so it's like, yeah. And Iron Man's the most popular character in that first team, so of course.
Right, exactly. It makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Man 3 also has a higher rating than Iron Man 2, 7.2 for Iron Man 3 on IMDb, and Iron Man 2 is 7.0.
Good.
What's the first movie?
7.9.
Really so, because that is the best one.
Yeah, for the longest time, I was saying Iron Man 3 was the best one. Like, looking back again, yeah, Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
We can all agree on Iron Man 1.
Iron Man 1 is Iron Man 1 holds up better.
Yes.
And the Stan Lee cameo in this one, where Tony's looking around somewhere. I forgot where he's at exactly, but there's a TV playing and it's a bingo game show. Not a game show, it's like a show. It's a bunch of people playing bingo, and Stan Lee gets bingo card. He doesn't have a line, but it's like that's his cameo. Let's see. You guys want to talk about anything else about the movie?
I said mine.
I think we got that one covered.
I pretty much got my point across.
All right.
Let's
the end credit scene in this movie. For fuck's sake! For some reason, it's blanking out of my head. You guys can refresh my memory.
Sucks.
Oh, okay. Now I remember. And throughout in the beginning of the movie, Tony Stark is narrating, and at the end of the credits, you get to see why he's narrating. He's narrating to Bruce Banner, Mark Ruffalo.
Oh, right.
He's into the story, but Mark Ruffalo was asleep the whole time.
Yeah.
That's the joke. Yeah.
Oh, Bruce.
Yeah. So overall, we're split on Iron Man 3.
It's on the lower end. It's on one of the low ends of the.
My least favorite Iron Man. I'll just say that.
It is. It's my least favorite Iron Man film. It's definitely on the lower end of the spectrum for the MCU for me.
Okay. All right. Well, speaking of the lower, what would you say?
The low end of the spectrum.
Speaking of the low end of the spectrum, Thor: The Dark World came out the same year.
Woo!
Directed
We
by
saw
Alan,
that computer, didn't we? Yeah. No.
directed by
Yep.
Alan Taylor, the guy who
Who?
brought us Terminator Genesis.
Ugh.
Man,
Man, you should
Thor,
like that movie.
Thor 2 just went up for me, man.
So yeah, okay. Since it's too bad that Dan and Rob kind of gave away their opinions about this movie already. But I was gonna wait. I was hoping not, but like
What did we
I was
give
gonna
away?
ask this question. I was gonna ask the question: is this the worst MCU movie?
Did we both say yes?
I know Rob said yes.
Yeah, mine. I think it was at the bottom of mine. I think.
Is this
Did
the
I
worst?
I
Did I
think
say yes?
I believe it. I think when I think about it, for me, Thor 2 is my least favorite MCU movie.
Even Chris Hemsworth didn't even like it.
I know Dan said that Incredible Hulk was his least.
Oh, that's right.
For you, it's
yeah.
Incredible Hulk.
I think mine was. I think Incredible Hulk was like second.
You're right.
For me.
Yeah, Incredible Hulk was my least favorite. I would put this second.
But have you
probably.
rewatched this film recently?
I haven't, and that's the. Well, actually, I take that back. I watched probably 40 minutes of it in the middle of the movie the other day. It was on TV.
Mm-hmm.
I hate all of the human characters, like
They focus too much on
the whole team, like the whole like Earth team, like Natalie Portman and her gang. I'm just like, why?
Okay.
I mean, no, I know why, but I wasn't into it.
So it sounds like if you would have seen the whole thing, I would have said yes. This is the worst MCU movie.
Oh, wait a minute. I want to say this. I will tell you. Okay, so wait. Rob and Thomas, it's your least favorite, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I will tell you why it's not my least favorite when it's my turn, because I do have a reason.
Okay.
There is something in this movie that I actually like.
Okay, I've rewatched most of these. I haven't gotten to Infinity War and Ant-Man and the Wasp, but I'm pretty sure now I've seen like a lot of these already. Again, this is the worst MCU movie for me. This is the worst.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree with Robin Dan. I'm sorry, Robin Thomas.
You can see I'm staying quiet because like there's nothing to talk about.
I really don't have much to say about this.
Well, wait, let me go.
Yeah,
because
I told you it's gonna be a 5-minute conversation with Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah. It'll be quick. Again, I'm not saying this. It's probably my second least favorite, but for me, I was gonna say what saves the movie, but I shouldn't say what saves the movie. What
saves it from being the worst? Right.
Yes, is Loki. In Thor, Loki was just okay. He was just there. I wasn't impressed with him. Now in Avengers, I was impressed with Loki. I thought in Thor 2, he kept that up. I mean, I feel like he found the character in Avengers, and I feel like he kept it in Thor 2. So he had a lot to do in Thor 2. And just the relationship between Thor and Loki, I've always liked. I like it when they interact with each other, and they have a lot of interaction in that film. So I did like that aspect of that movie. That would probably be the only thing I can think of. But I really enjoy them two together. And then, of course, they bring it back for Thor 3, too. But that sticks out to me. That was something I did enjoy. I just think Tom Hiddleston is great. And I thought like I said, in Avengers, he found the character, and then he brought it back in Thor 2. So that's why it's not my least favorite.
Okay, I'll go next because it seems like Rob and Thomas don't want to talk about this movie. But I'll expand on what you said about what you did like Loki. I actually really liked Loki's relationship, the comparison, his relationship with Odin and his relationship with Renee Russo's character. Like what he thinks differently about both of them. Like he obviously hates his dad, Odin.
Mm-hmm.
Like what happened in Thor 1 and all that. But yeah, he still loves his mom though. And I like the scene they had together where after he's locked up and she says, "Oh, your father." He's like, "He's not my father." And he's like, yeah. So does that mean that I'm not your mother? And they have that little moment. And then after she dies, he grieves, like he's still, he still cares about her. Like,
Mhm.
he completely grieved, and I like the whole sequence of the funerals. Like that's the best part of the movie, her funeral and the thing. It's actually done well. Other than that, honestly, this movie is very, very mediocre.
Very
Looking
mediocre.
back.
You can't even tell what the hell's going on. Like after the elves come and stuff.
It is literally a filler movie.
It really is. It feels like it feels no purpose into being in the MCU. It kind of
Like the stuff with the Earth characters. Watching it again, it is cringy.
it is.
Like I know
can't
Dan.
say it. Oh, so go ahead.
Dan talked about this when we were talking about Thor 1, like how the mistake was like concentrating too much on Earth. Like I get why they did that in Thor 1, because you have to have that connection with how he's eventually going to team up with the Avengers. He has to have the connection with S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff. You didn't need him going to Earth again in this movie. Like he should have been just Asgard the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And the love relationship in this one, between Thor and Jane Foster, it's just like who cares?
Yeah,
that was a dumb. Like the fact that she gets possessed by the ether. They call it the ether, which is the reality stone, which we don't even know that until the end.
Yeah.
It's like when she's infected, he takes her to Asgard. No human has been to Asgard. He takes her to Asgard, and she wakes up, and she's just like, oh, like she's not even like, like who are all these people? Like honestly, she was just all calm about it. Like, oh, look at all these people. Look at this world. Oh my God. She just wakes up and she's like, la la la, like I belong here. I belong here with you.
See, now again, I guarantee you they did this for that movie because Marvel / Disney, they were still afraid. They didn't know how to make a movie dealing with something not on Earth. They had to connect it. They didn't think the audience was going to go for something that was completely off of Earth. I know that's got to be what it was.
Well, and the fact that they made it serious, which is why I think Ragnarok worked, because it was, you don't take it serious. In Ragnarok, you had fun, there was comedy. In this movie, they took it serious. You had a dark elf named Malekith, who in the comics, he's actually a big character. He's actually pretty powerful.
Okay, can we also agree like that's the worst villain of this franchise?
Yep.
Worst villain?
Yes.
Over Abomination?
I'd say he's maybe one of the
Are you saying like one of the worst villains of the Thor movies or of the MCU?
No, of the entire MCU.
No, for me, well,
I know you want to say Killian, whatever, right?
Well,
he might be the least interesting, but
yes, I think that's what I meant.
That at
but
least
the fight between him and Thor was, I think it was just kind of.
I don't even remember it.
Yeah, it's exactly
That's forgettable. It's
over here
forgettable.
because there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be within the what, 9 realms? That's they're fighting like between the 9 realms or whatever. And it's like, even Chris Hemsworth said himself that this movie, he felt like Thor was getting boring and he thought it was going nowhere. I honestly think if they wouldn't have done what they did for Ragnarok, that he would have probably quit the character.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
Well,
yeah. There probably wouldn't have been no more solo Thor movies, at least.
Nah,
Like, there would have been the last one.
Well, I mean, even in Age of Ultron, he was still kind of.
We'll get to Ultron later.
No, I know. But I'm just giving an example.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, it's funny in hindsight, this makes the whole like Disney and Marvel being scared of placing the whole movie in Asgard. In hindsight, it makes this movie worse.
It does.
Yeah.
Because like wow, like the whole thing of him, Earth, and the teaming up with these people was a even bigger waste of a time.
It was so forced. I mean,
Yeah.
I could just see them sitting in the pitch meeting and being like, oh, wouldn't this be a good twist? Let's bring an Earthling to Asgard. Oh, that's something different.
Yeah.
Like, I could totally see them doing that, to add something to the movie because...
Well, I agree with you about the Loki stuff. Like, I thought all that was great. That would probably be the only positive thing I have to say. But, like, what about the whole death thing? Like, what were you thinking at that moment?
Oh, I thought he died.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah,
I did too.
You kind of played it off really well. They played that off really well. I think, in the movie.
That's what I thought was so. Yeah, that like I said, like when I think of that movie, like that's all I can think about that I can remember that like I really liked. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's
too much human interaction, especially in the beginning when they found that stupid time hole or whatever, that hole where they start dropping stuff in there, and it's
glory hole.
The glory hole. They stuck stuff in the glory hole.
Why would you throw your car keys in there?
Might as well be a bubble.
Comedy.
This movie is
Stupid comedy.
What's that girl? What's that girl's name?
Kat Dennings.
Darcy.
Oh, you're always like, what's the name of that girl? I'm always like, Kat Dennings.
I don't even. God. She has that voice that's so annoying. You just want to just like.
She's got a nice rack. I think that's why I remember her name.
Well,
That's the only way.
No,
You know.
yeah.
You know,
It's just the worst kind of sitcom kind of humor. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah. If you think of the worst kind of jokes you put in sitcom, that's
You mean like
jokes.
this joke?
Thor should have put.
That was for New York.
Thor should have put her in the
That's
glory hole.
See, like the thing is, like the whole love story with him and Jane Foster. It's like she whines about how he didn't return to see her. Like they were together for years. Like you only know him for like 2 days. What's wrong with what the fuck is wrong with you?
What about that stupid end credit scene on both of them?
oh
Actually,
my god.
the first one was what, them kissing on Earth. He returns to Earth and he's
Yeah,
like,
that was supposed to be the ending of the movie anyway.
yeah.
Anyway.
And then the second one is this monster just running.
Yeah.
No, that's the same one.
Huh?
Oh, yeah, because I think one of the end credits was the collector.
Well, the Guardians Easter egg.
I'm pretty sure the Dark World, one of the end credits was this monster running.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Marvel's
What the
kind
hell
of
was the point of
what
that?
I think. Yeah, a lot of times I think their secondary ending is kind of garbage, but we won't go into that.
Yeah, I'm done talking about this stupid.
Yeah, and some of these later movies, yeah, the very last end credit scene is kind of just dumb. For some reason. It's the mid credit scene that's like the good important one, yeah.
You want to know the hit, don't you, dude?
I didn't want to say, like, I alluded to this when we were talking about Thor 1, how Odin was kind of a dick. And this one, he's like just a super douche. Like,
Yeah.
That's
the problem.
Cranky old man.
Yeah, what's your problem, Odin? Like I said, he's the real villain in these movies.
Go to hell.
Put the Hannibal mask on.
Go eat someone's face.
Go back to being Son of the Mask.
Cordell.
Oh, God. Oh.
I think we've all said enough.
Yeah, I'm done.
Thomas,
I'm done.
did you have anything to add to this?
I'm done, Thor.
Yeah.
I mean,
Go ahead.
this movie is just as
Okay, let's move on. No, just kidding.
I mean, this movie is just as forgettable as as me staying quiet in the background, because this is one of those MCU films that I never revisited too much. I mean, you know, I definitely like the first Iron Man a lot better. I think the first Avengers and the Captain America movies, like, you know, this is just one of those MCU films I never revisited too much. A very forgettable villain. The whole, you know, Loki was good. I mean, I like Loki. I agree with Dan about that. I like Loki, but you know, everything else around it, though. I mean, I wasn't a fan of like I think it was really slow. I thought it was a little slow paced. I thought the story was weak. I didn't like the villain. I thought the villain was subpar. It's definitely my least favorite MCU film. I mean, this is just one of those films I've only seen 2 times. Like, I first saw it back in the day, then I just revisited it again to get ready for this live stream, and it's just as forgettable as I saw it back when it first came out, like back in 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just as forgettable as it was 6 years ago. So, yeah, this movie can go.
Eat a dick.
I liked it the first time I saw it, but yeah, it does not hold up.
What?
The first time I saw it, damn it. That's what most of these MCU movies, I liked them the first time I saw them. Like, some of them don't hold up though. Yeah. Like I said, like my opinions have changed. Some of them have changed, and looking back again, like, yeah, this is one that changes a lot. I like it. I don't even like it very much. And the movie ended up making 206 million domestically and 644 worldwide. Not too shabby.
66% on Rotten Tomatoes is way too high for this movie.
66.
Yeah.
Screw that site.
And that's the lowest rated one, right?
Yeah.
On IMDb, Thor 1 and 2 both have a 7.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
7.
Yeah. Okay, and that's I can't forget to mention this. Stan Lee's cameo. This one, the scene where who was it? Stellan Skarsgård's character is crazy in the old folks' home.
Yeah.
And then he's going on and on about like quantum physics or whatever. And then Stanley says, "Hey, can I have my shoe back?" It's a funny little cameo, but it doesn't save the movie.
No, it doesn't.
So yeah, that was Thor: Dark World, the worst MCU movie. Unless something happens in Endgame, but I doubt it.
I doubt that.
I'm scared.
Don't worry. Yeah. Everybody dies.
Not us. Not us.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, okay. After Thor 2 came out and disappointed a lot of people, we got Captain America and Winter Soldier.
All right.
Directed by, this is the debut of the Russo brothers and this franchise. And I gotta say, the only thing they had really going in their careers was like comedies, right?
The show Community, which I'm actually a big fan of. But
and they did You, Me, and Dupree. If you saw the movie. Yeah. And so like they had a lot of pressure.
They did.
This kind of movie. And pretty sad to say they delivered. They surprised a lot of people. This is off the bat, this is one of the best. Okay, this is the worst, and this is one of the best. And this is one of the best MCU movies.
Some people will say it's their favorite.
Yeah, a lot of people. I can't argue with that. It's a great spy film.
It is.
Yeah.
We want to just simplify it.
I still have the video that I made on Rob Rant's channel where I go to meet Dan at the local theater to see that movie. And I remember that video. I had no idea what I was getting into. When we got out of there, oh my God. I was like, this movie kicks ass. Holy crap.
The fight scene in this movie is like they really did. I love the way the Russos do fight scenes in these movies.
Oh, they're fantastic.
They're just one of the best.
Right.
Yes,
they got Captain right in this one.
They did.
Yes, this is the movie that for me made Captain America my favorite MCU character.
Mm-hmm.
It's they find Chris Evans. It's like he had his complete arc in this movie in a way where he fit the character like 100%. Like
yeah, very good.
Like he surprised people with the first Captain America movie, and then this one it's like, how do I say this? Like it's like the character finally like took off with with most fans. Like okay, this is in a way this is like, I don't want to get into the DC comparisons, but this is this generation Superman.
Yeah, it was Robert Redford's movie. So, what do you guys like about the movie the best? I think we're all gonna be on the same page in this one.
Well, like you already mentioned some great things. I mean, this didn't even, okay, I don't want to say it didn't feel like a superhero movie, but it didn't have to be a superhero movie. Like when you're watching it, this is just a good movie. Like, like you said, spy film. Trying to figure out what's going on. The action was good, the storytelling was good, the pacing was good. They just hit all the marks with the film. And I don't want to knock the Avengers, but I feel Cap was kind of weak in that film, and I don't mean weak strength-wise. I mean they played off his fish out of water like through the whole movie, and it was funny, but like we didn't get to see him shine in that film. I feel like in this movie,
so you're kind of like he was like underused a little bit.
Well, just like, hey, Cap, you're here, you're on the team, and your gimmick is you don't understand all of this stuff. Okay,
Mhm.
and you know what? It was funny, but we didn't get to see Captain America, like the comic book Captain America, the Captain America that everyone knows. I feel like, we saw that in the first Avenger, like kind of like the start of it, and then we went from that to Avengers, and then it didn't continue at all. We didn't get to see any character development in that film, and then this film, I feel like you got to see how he actually is. I think the Russos actually showed us how Cap is supposed to be.
You could say that this movie he was in his prime because so many years had passed. And how many years exactly from Avengers to
I don't know.
Winter Soldier? Well,
2 years.
The time
he's been doing his thing. He's been doing his thing for a little bit. Okay, so now he's actually doing good on what he's actually mastered his abilities. He's agile. He knows how to fight. So yeah, like he said, it's like they got him right. Like this is how he's supposed to be.
He's getting accustomed to today's world.
Right, because in Avengers, the first Avengers, he was just getting used to. I mean, he just joined a team, and he's just getting used to being in the modern world, obviously.
And then they're saying like, "Oh, we got to fight aliens and all these other beings." Like,
I can see how it kind of maybe overwhelmed him, but I still think this is the movie that, like he said, makes him shine. Like this was his movie.
Absolutely.
And of course, we were also introduced to the Winter Soldier, which I really knew nothing about. But I thought it was cool that, again, this is just Captain America's character. I mean, he is dedicated to his, family and friends. Like, he was not about to let, he's, done some bad things. I'm still going to bring him in, or, he's been brainwashed. I'm going to, make sure I need to help him, not like destroy him.
Yeah.
And they didn't give away his identity in the trailer. Thank you, Russos.
Yeah, but they did give it away in one of those like behind the scenes featurettes they had before the movie.
Oh, I didn't see that
before the movie, and I got spoiled. Like Chris Evans spoiled the freaking movie for like that.
I had no idea. Like,
I had no idea either.
It was Bucky, like.
Yeah. But the thing is like it's like in a way like Bucky. I don't want to say he's forgettable in the first Captain America movie. It's like we didn't get to know him as well as they should have. But I still think it works with they had a friendship together like way back when. And it's like, oh, he's got to save his friend.
To be honest, when he fell off the train in the first movie, I felt nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, I really didn't.
Yeah.
I
just I cheered. No, I just found this out. I just found this out today. The score, the score they use every time Winter Soldier comes into the scene, it's like a remix like sound of Bucky screaming when he fell on the train, mixed with new music. It's like they did something like that. Like I had no idea. I just found out today while I was doing some research.
Huh.
So that's kind of cool. That's why it sounds like a scream, in a way. That little piece of music they use every time he shows up to fight. Every time he shows up to fight. And he's just a savage.
Oh, Bucky?
Yeah.
O'Hare?
In this movie. Like he's taking out the freaking. Oh my god! I can't believe I'm blanking on the damn name. The steering wheels and shit of cars.
Then you have Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow.
Yeah, in this movie, and I like the chemistry between her and Steve Rogers.
Yeah, I
agree.
Like, okay, they should have kept that chemistry going in Age of Ultron, which we'll get to Age of Ultron, but I like them together. They had. I kind of like the tension. Like there's sexual tension, but there's also tension. Like, oh, is she to be trusted with this information? That's where you get the stuff with Nick Fury, like how like he knows something's going on. There's corruption in the Shield department.
Yeah,
that's where you get the Hydra storyline, continuing from the first one.
Shield is kind of like the Jedi in the prequels. They're clouded.
Yeah. Well,
Shield is the Jedi.
if you want to get into like deep into the storyline, it's like I guess you could say it's very inspired by like Illuminati type of stuff. Like they have like all the Hail Hydra like behind the scenes. They're quiet, like there's evil. It's quiet, like hiding in the shadows. An evil organization.
Why was Gary Shandling in Hydra?
That actually shocked me when I first saw it because they
I thought that went a little too far, but
no, because that was I like how like okay, so all these like politicians are, like they're connected with Shield, like oh they're part of Hydra too this whole time. So it's like okay, his scene in Iron Man 2 is actually better now because okay he wanted Stark's weapons. Yeah. Yeah, like how he wanted Tony Stark's Iron Man weapons. Oh, because he's really Hydra, and Hydra wants as much power as possible.
You have a couple of characters too that show up that the casual person might not know. In the beginning on the ship when he's doing his thing and he goes against Batroc. His name's George Batroc, but he's known as Batroc the Leaper, who is a character in Marvel who's really good at martial arts. So when he's fighting Cap, there's that really cool martial arts scene.
Right on the boat.
Right, yeah. So there's him, and then there's of course what's his name? Who plays Crossbones? Who does
Frank Grillo.
Yeah, he doesn't turn to Crossbones until Civil War, but I mean we get to see him before he does that, so that's pretty cool. So there's like other characters as well in the movie.
What do you guys think of Anthony Mackie as the Falcon in his debut?
Oh, I like him. In fact, I thought outside of like the suit, like I really liked. I mean, what character development they could have as a supporting role, as a small role, I liked that. Like the backstory where he's like was in the army too, and like that whole thing where he's with the people with the PTS.
Yeah.
I like him.
The only movie I was familiar with him was 8 Mile. I remember seeing him last on 8 Mile.
I remember the one thing with Anthony Mackie, like I really like him as Falcon. The one thing I was familiar with, surprisingly enough, I don't think anybody else would be familiar with him in it. But I remember, I'm like, oh shit, it's the guy from that movie. I remember him from Man on a Ledge.
Oh, with Sam Worthington.
Yeah, he was Sam Worthington's buddy.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, so I'm like, that's Anthony Mackie.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I always knew him from Man on the Ledge, and I'm like, oh shit, he's in the MCU. That's cool. And I think him as Falcon is fantastic. I think he's a great side character for Captain America. I think Anthony Mackie fits Falcon very well.
Yeah, he's much better than that Bucky loser. But yeah, like I mentioned with the fight scenes, like once you get to the ending fight, it gets pretty emotional.
Yeah.
Where Captain America pretty much like just gives up fighting and says, "Yeah, you're my friend till the end." I don't think he says that. That's off of Child's Play. Friend to the end.
You didn't even need the Avengers when all those ships were gonna destroy everybody.
Yeah, but he was like, "Yeah, like I'm not gonna fight you no more. Like you're my friend, and like I'm with you to the." That's what he said. I'm with you to the end, and then like it kind of like snaps him out of the Winter Soldier brainwashing thingy.
Yeah.
But I like it's cool like how like they keep the Hydra storyline going. How the whole time, even the creation of Shield, they were in the shadows from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You guys got anything else to say?
Yeah, I guess the only other thing I would say is I feel like this was again a great I don't want to say start because they already started as Captain America's character arc in the first movie, but this was a great continuation of, in my opinion, the best character arc in the entire series, where he starts to question the government, and he has always been all about the government. You know, like he's just a good soldier. And in this movie, we have him start to question that. You know, like, okay, like maybe this isn't the right path to go. You know, he still has all of his ethics.
Yeah.
And even though he, you know, he thought the government had the same ethics as he did, but you know, I know Hydra's behind the scenes too. But what I mean is this the start of his arc where, you know, he, and I don't want to talk about Cap 3 yet, but you know, he has just a great arc, and I thought this movie continued that.
Well said.
And now let me ask you guys this question: would you say it's your favorite of the Captain America like solo movies?
I would say no. I think Civil War is better, just because I think there's more character interaction. Even though Winter Soldier really focused on Cap, I felt like Civil War had more of, like I said, character-driven moments to make you feel sorry for this person and that person. And there's so much story in Civil War. Like, I just like it better, honestly.
Okay.
I think it's close.
I do like Winter Soldier better than the first one, though. If that's what you're asking, yeah, that's.
Yeah, I figured that, but I just didn't know like if this was like your favorite like movie of the Captain America character.
Thomas, how about you on that?
Like what's my favorite Captain America movie?
Do you like 2 or 3 more?
I like. I probably have to go with Rob. I like Civil War the best. Captain America Winter Soldier, there was a really close second for me though, based on like the Captain America character where he's like the main focus. But
did you want to add more to Winter Soldier?
Winter Soldier is a really close second for me, like for my favorite like Captain America movie.
Mm-hmm.
I say Civil War is my favorite like movie where the Captain America character is the main focus, because I feel like what Rob said, where there were a lot more interactions with the character, things like that. So I definitely went with my favorite Captain America movie. But Winter Soldier, you can't go wrong with either.
No.
Because Winter Soldier is great in its own mind too.
Yeah.
Alex, you want to chime in?
Yeah, out of all the Marvel movies, the ones that get the most praise, like this one, to me, it's always going to be justified. There's a. We probably won't get into this one tonight. I'll get into it in Phase 3, but there's one certain MCU movie that got a lot of praise that I don't think deserved it.
Okay.
But this one, it's a well-made movie. Like, look beyond the whole MCU universe, cinematic universe. Like, this is even it's just a standalone movie. Like, it's just solid spy film that just happens to be a Captain America movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Russos. I'm glad they kept them around to do more of these movies, because they just by directing, they're. I would argue they're maybe the best, or at least one of the best directors.
I will say.
And then I'll answer Thomas' question. Yes, this is personally my favorite Captain America movie.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's close, but it just barely edges out Civil War.
I'll say for me, it is close. I have not watched Winter Soldier in quite some time. I've actually seen Civil War more, and I've seen Civil War more recently. So it's hard for me to make a fair assumption, but I will say this, and I guess this is good. This is going to have to be good enough. When I saw Captain America: Civil War, when I left the theater, I remember thinking the movie was awesome, but I liked Winter Soldier a little bit more.
I had the same reaction.
So I think, just offhand, I would say I did think Winter Soldier was slightly better.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and Winter Soldier went on to make $259 million,
and
domestically and worldwide, $714 million. That seems like nowadays for an MCU movie, that seems a little low, but
that's still a pretty decent amount.
That's still.
And
and the Stan Lee cameo. was he played the security guard in the. Which I like. I like how like they have a museum for the Avengers, like especially for Steve Rogers and all that stuff. Like he steals his suit back. He takes his original suit back, which it's the best suit in Captain America suit in these movies. Much better than the one from the Avengers.
And the
and then Stan Lee he's security guard in the scene and he realizes the suit has been stolen. He says, "Oh, I'm gonna get fired for this."
The stealth was like one of the best suits. The stealth one.
Yeah.
And on another tangent, both Civil War and Winter Soldier both have the same IMDb rating, 7.8.
See, like it's very close.
And by the way, the first Captain America has a 6.9.
Wow, yeah, 69.
Garbage.
69.
That's garbage.
Just to show you though that part 2 and part 3 are kind of equally great.
How does Thor have a higher? Thor 2 have a higher rating than Cap 1?
I know that is weird.
Yeah, that's.
See, IMDb sucks.
The internet sucks.
Okay. Yeah, the end credit scene in this one was, you see Bucky after he saves Steve Rogers at the end. He sees himself in the museum. Like, okay, the history's out there, the truth about who he was.
Here's some trivia. Do you guys know who does the narration of the computer in that scene? Gary Sinise.
Who is
really?
Sinise.
Who was it?
Gary Sinise.
Oh, Gary Sinise.
Lieutenant Dan from Forrest Gump.
Ah, wow.
Does that mean Tom Hanks is gonna be in a feature MCU movie? That'd be cool.
Maybe Mel Gibson might be because he was in Ransom.
That too. Just get it, yeah.
You kill him. You kill yourself, you motherfucker.
Give me back my son.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. There was only one end credit scene in Winter Soldier? Was that the only one?
I can't remember.
I believe so. Yeah.
He was looking at the thing and
that was the end credits.
There
was not.
I don't know. I think that might be it.
Okay, I do have to mention this because this is gonna come back when we get to Captain Marvel eventually. But yeah, this is the movie where Nick Fury says,
"I lost an eye."
The last time I trusted somebody, I lost an eye. Okay, now, like I said, like stuff in the future movie, in later movies makes past movies better. This is something because of Captain Marvel, it makes it worse because now that we know the reveal, it's fucking lame. Not to spoil anything, but that's one thing in Captain Marvel. That's one thing Captain Marvel. Like I don't understand why anyone would defend this. Like the reveal how he actually loses his eye, it's lame.
To be honest, it's even that big of a deal. Like who gives a shit about his eye anyway? Like honestly, he says it in this movie. He's like, it's intriguing. I think it's kind of overhyped a little bit about his stupid eye. Like, just
I don't care how he lost his eye.
Honestly,
yeah, but they made a big deal about it in this movie. That's the thing. Why even bring that up?
Consider it a big deal. I mean,
I don't remember how. I mean, was it just a line and then
he says the last time I trusted somebody, I lost an eye. Because Captain America's like, trust me, or he's like, who are you going to trust? And he's like, well, the last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye. So it's like because he trusted in Captain Marvel,
right?
Because the whole movie, one of the themes in this movie is trust, and like he mentions because of trust, he lost an eye. But in Captain Marvel, the reason why he lost an eye is a stupid joke.
I was just thinking Robert Redford tore it out with his bare hands. Robert Redford's my favorite.
I'm not a fan.
He's not. It's not the same without Paul Newman.
Yeah, well, you know.
After Winter Soldier, we got the same year. The same year of Winter Soldier, we got the debut of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep.
No one knew about like the casual person knew nothing about that.
No.
And this one was
Guardians of the Galaxy.
This one was directed by James Gunn, which
the only character. Go ahead.
I want to bring this up. Like he directed. He's one of the directors in Thomas's favorite movies. Movie 43. He made the best skit in the entire movie.
Animated cat.
Yeah.
Beazle.
See, and that's one of the things like I was worried about. Like, I wasn't like the biggest James Gunn fan before this movie came out, so I was worried. And I didn't know any of the characters, so I didn't know what to expect. Like, I don't know about this one.
Well, the thing is, I like James Gunn. James Gunn, wrote the
The
Dawn of the Dead.
Scooby-Doo movies.
He wrote Dawn of the Dead remake. He directed Slither, which I enjoy. He directed a film that not many people know about. It's called Super.
I hated that movie.
Oh, Super's so
that movie. Yeah, it was too weird.
I hated that movie.
Maybe because I like weird movies like that. I thought it was just like
no, it was fucking stupid.
I thought it was kind of a unique movie, but it's not for everybody. But James Gunn, other than that friggin' movie 43 skit that he did. By the way, a little bit off tangent. That I do have that rant pre-recorded. So
okay, yeah. Oh, that's gonna be funny.
The only character I knew from Guardians was Gamora. That's the only one I knew. Like, I knew that was Thanos' daughter. Like, I didn't know anybody else.
Well, the thing is, I don't think the general audience knew who the Guardians of the Galaxy were.
No,
right?
I never knew about Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, whenever I heard about Marvel characters, like I knew Hulk, Iron Man, and Captain America. I'm like, who are Marvel? Like, who are the Guardians of the Galaxy? Like, I never heard of these guys. Like, who are these guys? And I remember I remember going into this movie in the summer of 2014. I didn't know what to expect, because I didn't know Guardians of the Galaxy. And I'm like, but James Gunn, I like James Gunn. I like some of the stuff he worked on. My buddy got us tickets for that weekend when it came out, and I remember okay, I like Marvel, so let's see what this is. And I came out pleasantly surprised. I had a lot of fun with Guardians of the Galaxy. I thought it was a really fun, entertaining popcorn flick.
I agree. Yeah,
definitely.
See, I thought it sucked, and it's the worst one ever. Not just kidding.
It was directed by Castle, and
see,
I think your breadsticks.
Breadsticks.
Fucking breadsticks. No, all the movies, MCU movies. This one, the one that surprised me the most, other than Iron Man 1, because I had no expectations for it. And this, I wouldn't say top 5, but it's pretty close.
It's definitely top 5 for me.
Pretty
Definitely.
close, I would say. Definitely top 10. But what makes it work, and I said this the first time I saw it. You want to look at my old review when it came out. I said the biggest thing that works about how this team is like a family, and they all had great chemistry together. They all worked well. And
the cast is really well done as well.
The biggest surprise for me was Batista, because I was never really a big fan of him in WWE. I didn't think he was a good actor, but I was like, oh, okay.
I'm not much of a wrestling guy myself, but I like Batista though.
The role he plays, he played it so well. And it's and we'll get to Guardians too. He almost steals that movie from me. But this one, he definitely was the biggest surprise. Yeah.
And on top of that too, I mean, I surprisingly enough, I know this is going to really shock a lot of people about this, but when you look at the cast of, Bradley Cooper as Rocket Raccoon, Chris Pratt and Dave Bautista, surprisingly enough, I think this is probably my favorite Bradley Cooper movie that he's done this Guardians.
Oh, that's because you don't see his stupid face, right?
Guy.
Well, the thing is, the reason why it's my favorite Bradley Cooper movie is because it was one of those things you never expected Bradley Cooper to do is Rocket Raccoon, and I just think it was such a cool transition. Bradley Cooper as Rocket Raccoon is just I thought that was just such a cool touch. And I think Bradley Cooper brought a lot to Rocket Raccoon. He's very entertaining to listen to. He's a very entertaining character. I just think Rocket Raccoon is my favorite of the bunch.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's just a highly entertaining character.
I recently rewatched this movie, and everything about the film is great. Like, honestly, I can't think of anything that I was like, well, they could have, I didn't like this, or they could have improved on that. Like, it's just a very fun film, and it also proved that they could make a space movie in the Marvel universe, and it could be a hit. And also, I think another reason why everyone went in with I don't want to say everyone went with no expectations, and you kind of came out like, wow, that was like amazingly good. At least that's what I felt. Yeah, the cast was great. The characters were great. Like the humor hit like almost every time. I felt it had good action. Like every set was memorable. It just was all around good. I really liked this film.
And James Gunn is definitely the right person to be directing these movies. Like these are his movies, man. I mean, he knows how to direct these.
Yeah, that's why they got him back.
Yeah. It was all a ploy. He really was.
You think?
I think behind the scenes they probably told him, "Hey, in 10 months, which is how long it was, we're gonna bring you back, but we have to say we have to fire you to like make the PC police go away."
Yes, I don't know. Maybe in a few years they might admit that, but I'm not sure.
Oh, it'll never. Yeah, who knows? It'll probably never be admitted. But it just goes to show that everyone, and this is way off topic, so I don't even want to get into it. But like, there's too much PC.
All right,
things.
shut up then.
Yeah, I'm a cranky old man.
I'm sensitive. Stop saying that stuff.
But Rob, what's your overall thoughts on Guardians?
Yeah,
You don't like
Okay,
moving on to
Yeah, you know what? It was a great experience. I liked
your first time. It was
my first time.
It's a great experience.
Virgin, and you know, you know what? All the characters, like even what's his name? Who played Ronan? I thought he was good too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ronan.
Oh, I gotta say he's one of the weak spots for me in the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I really don't care for that.
His motive was clear. I felt like maybe they could have done a little more with him, but I mean, it was cool. He had a Infinity Stone in his hammer. And he killed that annoying guy, the one from the first Avengers, who was standing there with Thanos on that rock. He killed him. Thank God. Good job, Ronan.
How about the fact that this movie again was a movie that really no one knew anything about, but this is the one that kind of introduced the most information about Thanos and the Infinity Stones.
Yeah, because
this
movie.
This is the debut of Josh Brolin as Thanos.
Yep.
Reminded me of a pouty child.
Yeah. Your politics bore me.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So you get a little bit glimpse of like how his character is, and
you know what really worked in this movie was the music choices.
Yes, that's one of the highlights of the movie.
It was great.
Fantastic soundtrack.
And go ahead.
I even like when Groot died, I was like teary-eyed, honestly, when I first saw this.
More than when Bucky died, see?
Yeah, a lot more.
That's true.
Even though he didn't die, but still, you thought he did.
Well, Bucky's more wooden.
It was garbage.
Is he more wooden than Groot? Groot's pretty wooden.
It's just the Bucky character's a bit bland.
Yeah,
He needs to branch out.
Seriously.
Oh man, this is deep for fun here.
Yeah, I mean, I actually also like the fact that they took a risk on Chris Pratt, who was just a comedic TV actor
Movie
at the
43.
time. Well, okay, yeah. What was the show he was in? Parks and Rec or whatever? Yeah. He was just a funny fat guy in that show. So it's like, okay, he's the lead in this movie, which is like a big risk. Like, okay, this movie's the weight of his shoulder. He's the main character. The story's about him mostly, and he pulled it off pretty well.
Yeah, that's what Seth Rogen did in Green Hornet.
Yeah, good call on that. special effects were great.
What about Yondu?
Oh, good. Yeah.
Oh,
like-
Michael Rooker's always good.
Mallrats.
He just goes for it, you know. Like they're like, okay, you're this, you know. They explain his character to him, and you know, you're all blue, and you can control this arrow with the whistle. He's like, okay, like no problem.
I know all about you, boy.
Yeah. He
One
just
thing,
has fun with the role. Huh?
one thing you didn't have though was chocolate covered pretzels, Alex.
Yeah. That's all I was missing.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. I got a happy voice.
Yeah.
Michael Rooker is such a cool.
A good character actor, yeah.
Oh, buddy.
Michael Rooker is. I mean, and he's such a great actor in general. Michael Rooker.
Yeah.
Left
I didn't
Hand,
know
Mallrats, Henry Portrait, serial killer.
Okay, Rob, you mentioned that you mentioned that this was the movie that gave us more information about. Is it the
I said that.
Oh, you
Yeah.
said that. My bad.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ron Cooper cousin.
We're twins.
From Illinois.
Yep.
No, because it just goes back to that Super Mario
Lincoln
movie.
State.
Super Cooper cousins.
The Lincoln State.
My name's Mario. He's Luigi Mario.
Yep.
No. You guys are Super Cooper cousins.
I'm a
You-
Goomba.
You don't remember that? You don't remember that end credit scene? You don't remember that end credit scene in the Super Mario movie?
That movie is great.
I choose not to.
No, they have a good end credit scene where they parody the whole video, making it into a video game.
That's a Marvel movie, isn't it?
Super. Oh no.
No, we're way off topic.
I know. But yeah, back to Guardians.
You're like, well, wait a minute. No, it's not.
No. Back to Guardians. Because the character of the Collector, he talks about like the Infinity Stone, the one in this movie, and what it can do, and
Right.
what some of the other ones can do, and kind of where they are, in a way.
People had a problem. Not everyone.
People are
but-
stupid.
I know people are dumb. Some people had a problem with the dance off thing. I'm like, that was funny.
That was
I'm like,
awesome.
It wasn't like they had a real dance off. Come
It
on.
was supposed to be funny. People just need to shut up. How about
Yeah.
that?
I'm pretty sure you guys appreciate the Footloose jokes.
Oh man, in Infinity War.
No, this movie.
Oh, during the dance off.
Oh yeah. Infinity War had several too. If you remember.
Yeah, but like in this movie, he mentions like, the great Kevin Bacon.
Yeah. Yep. Of course.
What about Korath? Who?
Yeah, exactly. Who?
He was in, of course, Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I like that they're bringing back characters from like the older movies.
That is
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, but they won't do that with the leader.
With who?
With the leader.
Oh, from Hulk. Hey,
Yeah.
you know what? They need to get on that. Either that or let's have Nick Nolte return and my strange
Damn it, shit! It's like, yo, you gotta understand fucking aliens, Hulk.
Anyway,
But yeah, this movie ended up making 333 million domestically and 773 worldwide, which is more than Winter Soldier, which is surprising. It came out the same year.
it's getting a higher rating than Winter Soldier. I can't believe that.
It's got 8.1
8.1.
on IMDb.
I mean, it's great, but I mean, higher than Winter Soldier?
One thing I want to mention, like this movie, it takes a lot of like it's inspired. You can tell when you see it again. It's inspired by Star Wars and Star Trek.
Oh
those
sure.
are the second film. Like there's even a shot. There's even a shot in the movie where like Star Lord is coming in the ship, and it's like kind of the same shot when Lando and Empire Strikes Back gets in the Falcon after they rescue Luke. It's like almost. It's very similar. The way they do it, I know that even the first time I saw it. I'm not gonna mention. Yeah, but Stanley cameo in this one is the scene when they introduce Groot and Rocket, which is, again, that's another Star Wars thing. Like, it's very similar to the friendship with Han Solo and Chewie. You don't understand what Groot is saying, but you kind of get it by Rocket's.
Good
ancestor.
call.
Yeah, that's something I noticed. That's another Star Wars inspired thing in the movie. But yeah, Stanley's cameo. He's talking to a woman like while Rocket's like making fun of him. Like, look at this guy, this old pervert. No. And the end credits was you get a cameo from Howard the Duck.
Yeah, that was dumb.
That was pretty stupid.
That was
to be
dumb.
honest.
Duck tits.
You really didn't like it?
No, I didn't.
No, First of
I
all,
was waiting for Tim Robbins to go wiki 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 wiki.
I don't even think he looked anything like Howard the Duck, did he? Like at all? Like
I just
Howard
know
the
He
Duck-
looks more like he did in the comics, I think.
Yeah, well, yeah. Good point.
I just hope they don't introduce him into the regular movies.
They
I
already
didn't like
did.
What?
In a
He
way,
was- He was in Guardians too, I think. Too.
Yeah. He is in Guardians too.
But as what?
It's just a
It's
guy
just-
sitting. He's like
A duck.
in the at the city where Yondu. It shows Yondu, and then he's sitting there in the background drinking.
Oh well, as long as that's all it is, then I don't care.
yeah, it's just a cameo.
I don't want him to make a Howard the Duck movie and then him be like, "Oh, let's go, Cap."
I don't know. He might show up in not Infinity War, Endgame. You never know.
That's good.
Well, I'll walk out.
I mean, we don't know if he survived the snap.
All the hype.
Spoiler
It's real. It's all real,
Yeah.
man.
I believe that. Oh yeah, the other like mid-credit scene was like the whole baby Groot dancing, and he doesn't want Drax to see him dance, which is kind of funny. That I remember that got like so much love that they put that clip the day or the weekend that movie came out. They put that officially out there.
Yeah, everyone liked that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like, what's not like to love? Like little baby tree dancing to the Jackson 5.
Yeah, great. It is a good movie.
Bonsai.
And I like how like the stuff with Star-Lord, his backstory in his childhood continues on
Gonna grab a
very
drink.
well in the sequel, which we'll get to when we get to phase 3.
Yep.
But I guess we'll wait for Thomas to come back till we'll get to the next movie.
Oh,
Which is-
did he leave?
Yeah.
He said he went to go get a drink.
Oh. Well, we can at least do the intro for the next one.
Yeah, sure. I'll do that. The next movie that came out after Guardians was Avengers: Age of Ultron, directed by Joss Whedon again from the first Avengers movie. Yeah, I have a lot to say about this movie.
I just recently watched this one,
So did I.
It's interesting because I feel like I've seen the first. I brought this up before too. Avengers 1 I've seen so many times, and it was like I hadn't seen this one in a while. And when I watched it a second time, not a second time. When I had watched it more recently, when I hadn't seen it in a while, I feel like I liked it more actually than I did when I initially saw it.
Interesting. All right, Thomas, back.
All right, Thomas. So we're on Spider-Man: Homecoming now.
Nice try.
I would.
Had to get a quick
Yeah.
drink. I was thirsty.
The
Yeah,
Punisher. Jane, go.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Ben Affleck, go.
okay.
Go.
So are we on Avengers: Age of Ultron?
Yes. Age of Ultron.
Uh,
Which is the follow-up to, of course, Avengers. A
so-
lot of high expectations for this one, and
So what are your guys' thoughts on it, real quick, so that way I
I
can get.
gotta say, it's not a good movie. I can't say it's a good movie, guys.
I
To
don't
be
think
honest,
it's better. I don't think it's better than the first. I hold the first up in such a high pedestal
Yeah.
that the second one for me has great stuff, but I don't like Ultron. I do not like him. I don't think they got him. They made him more human than he in the comics. He is freaking nuts. I have actually comics somewhere down there. I have a bunch of comics to him. he destroys everything. Like, he is just so menacing. And in this movie, I did not one time feel that he was intimidating at all. Not one time.
Yeah, that's one of the problems with the movie.
Oh, go ahead, Thomas.
For me, I like James Spader as Ultron. I think he, it's a great voice for James Spader. I think it's a great choice for a villain. But I agree with Rob. I do hold the first film to a high standard a lot more than the second film. But I do think there is some good stuff in this movie. But I just think the first Avengers has a lot more going for it. And I really do think that Ultron should have been more crazier because, like you said, in the comics, he's a crazy, nutty character.
He is. He wipes out everybody.
Yeah. But I just think, though, with the way Marvel is, like, the more, like, popcorn, fun movies, like, I don't think they would have gone that route, like, that darker roots. I mean, that would have been interesting to see if the MCU went with a darker tone with the Ultron character, but they unfortunately didn't go that way, and they made him more human. And I much rather see Ultron from the comics in a movie. I think that'd be more interesting.
There's one. I don't know if you guys had an answer to this because I don't. In the beginning of the Ultron, the Avengers are going after Baron Strucker to get this Loki scepter back. How did they lose it?
It's never stated, I don't think.
Oh, that reminds me. That was the other end credit scene in Winter Soldier. You see Baron Strucker and his and then you get the cameo, but with the Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch.
Right. They don't.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. I don't think it's explained. I think it's. I think.
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
Okay, so at the beginning of Ultron,
yes,
the Avengers are going after Baron Strucker to get the Loki scepter back.
Mm-hmm.
But my question is, how did they get their hands on it? Because at the end of Avengers, they had it. And the Tesseract. The Tesseract goes back to Asgard.
Did they have it, though?
Yeah. Remember at the end, when they confront Loki, Black Widow was holding on to it. When he's like, I think I'll have that drink now. And they're all dead.
Okay, because I remember she was the one that had it last.
Yeah, they have it in their possession. My question is, what happened?
I want to say, again, I just rewatching it, I want to say there was a throwaway line. They were just like, we need to get the scepter from them. And I think we're supposed to assume that because Hydra had infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D., like, they stole it. I think that's what we're just... but it was like a throwaway, like, oh, this happened. Like, No,
you know what? I think that's just bad writing.
Well, after the Avengers, think about all the movies. Iron Man 3, Thor 2, Captain America, Winter Soldier, Guardian Galaxy. None of those movies, except for maybe Winter Soldier, explain the Hydra thing, but it didn't explain... Yeah, it didn't explain the scepter. I've always thought that. I'm like, wait, how did they get it?
It was confusing, too, I think, at the beginning of the film.
Right.
This movie... I felt like it was too goofy, maybe is the word. Like everyone was a comedian in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Even Ultron. Like I think that's I did like James Spader as Ultron.
Even Nick Fury and the S.H.I.E.L.D. characters.
Yeah, I didn't know why they're like immediately right when they're fighting in the beginning and like all of a sudden like
they're talking about curse words.
Yeah, Iron Man's like
language.
He's like shit, and then he's like language. I just was like right away. I'm like, this is too lighthearted. I felt like it was like not written well. And then I think here's another thing too. Like Joss Whedon, he did a good job with Avengers 1, and he had tremendous pressure. I mean, like as good as that movie was he ever gonna top that movie?
Yeah, he even stated in interviews that he's exhausted. You could tell he was.
Yeah, but he used a lot of the same formulas from the first movie to the second movie, and I think
the third act was all like the first movie.
Yeah. And even right in the beginning, like when they all are in the right at the beginning, that beginning action scene, and they all jump, and there's that slow motion with all of them together. Like we literally just saw that, and he does that like 3 times in that movie. It's like.
The CGI wasn't too good there either. Yeah, but I mean that's just a little thing. But
it did feel like he was just repeating himself. And
Well, like there's one that one scene with Ultron when he's sitting down and he's got that thing hooked up to him, and he's like, she's like, it won't be long, and he's like, how long? He's like, I'm not being pushy. Like when he says that, I'm like, really?
Yeah, he was being all
Like what? You don't. I don't know. That just bothers me.
yeah, that's one thing. It's this thing like there's never a moment in the movie where Ultron feels menacing or like a real threat. Like, oh my god, like the Avengers have met their match. No, it's like, oh, they kick this guy's ass easily, and they do.
I feel like the trailer kind of made him more menacing than the actual movie itself.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, then you have, I mean, and again, Captain America. I know he's a superhuman, but like he's taking on Ultron all by himself and putting up a decent fight. So, but then it's like later, like Thor's fighting Ultron and like having problems. It's like, okay, they're not showing us the correct amount of how powerful he is in certain scenes.
Right.
Like,
Ultron was the best part of the movie for me was the Hulk Iron Man fight. That was
I agree.
Cool.
They got Hulk perfect in that.
That was good, but the way it ends is lame. I gotta be honest. After punching him, yeah, it just knocks him out. Like, what?
Actually, I don't. I feel like that's the only way. Like they're all even in Thor Ragnarok, they're like, oh, how do we defeat Hulk? Oh, knock him out.
They get Hulk all wrong in these because Hulk, the madder he gets, the stronger he gets. So technically, you cannot really defeat him. When he gets madder, the madder he gets so strong that you cannot do anything. You just really cannot unless
after like 50 punches. Nothing happens to him in the fight, and then like one last punch out of nowhere, and then that knocks him out. Like that's not really consistent.
It's like he caught him off guard or something. Yeah, it's just.
Well, I know you want to talk about this, Alex, because you brought it up, but like the relationship with Banner and Natasha.
Yeah. I still don't get why they did that. It takes way too much time out of the movie. It slows down the movie. It slows down the pace. They really have no real chemistry. I don't think so.
And really, did they really have to do the damsel in distress scene? Like seriously, like, oh, let's have Scarlet Witch get captured, the only female on the team.
Why not have Betty Ross? Johansson. Bruce Banner loves Betty Ross. Why not have her be in the movie?
Yeah, he never mentions her in the movie at all.
No. Like, what's up with that?
I actually felt bad for.
This is why I think Incredible Hulk is underrated. Damn it!
I felt bad for Black Widow in that movie because like, all of a sudden in the beginning when they're at that party, all of a sudden she's like hitting on Bruce Banner like she's got a heart on for him. You remember? Because right away, like immediately.
All because she knows a trick to get him from going to green back to normal. It's like she knows a trick so she feels some kind of like love towards him, like she feels sorry for him. Well, don't feel sorry for him. He's ugly. He's a big green guy. Don't do that.
And
she's got a green fetish.
Yeah, the whole Sokovia.
Once you go green, you never go back.
Is it Sokovia?
Sokovia.
Sokovia. That scene with that whole Act 3 like took like too long. Like they really spent a lot of time like, oh, let's evacuate these people. It's like, okay, like we get you're doing it, but like you don't need to show us 10 minutes of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I will say there are some seeds planted in this movie that do pay off in later films. In Civil War and in the Thor Ragnarok and Infinity War, I guess to say. And again, it's like one of those things like they didn't really they didn't do a good job with this movie, but I felt like they cared more about setting up stuff that would pay off later. You know what I mean? Like the whole debate with Steve Rogers and Tony Stark about like Ultron and what you should do and what you shouldn't do. Like that's
the whole nightmare thing that Tony has carries on now. Like it carries on. So started.
And the creation of a vision.
Yeah.
And when they go to Hawkeye's house, that was all too that slowed the movie way down too.
That did slow. I know. I agree. Okay, that does slow the movie.
This movie that could have been cut out.
that does slow down the movie, but I did like that they gave him more.
Yeah. I kind of like that they gave him some time.
Yeah, I'm not debating that. I feel like the pacing was bad.
They should have trimmed.
Cut it short. Like the whole part where you said, like Natasha and Hulk are. She's like, oh, did you just get out of the shower? And he's like, yeah. He's like, well, she's like, well, I could have joined you. They could have cut that out.
See, like, what happened though? Like, I feel like Joss Whedon didn't write her as like a strong character in that movie.
She's turning into a prostitute.
Yeah, I felt like like she didn't seem like a cool character. Like she just like the whole movie. It was just like, oh, you got a hard on for Banner.
He's like, how can this work? Look at me. This could never work. And she's like, well, you're not looking at the only monster here. It's like, God.
Oh wait, and then I didn't like it. She's like, I can't have babies.
Join in the shower. I would have joined in the shower. Okay, so this turned into having a drink together, and then now let's take showers together.
And then she's like, I can't have babies. I'm like, so what? Like what? I mean, what I mean is, it came out of nowhere. That was like,
I know.
I can't have your green babies.
Hey, I did like what the hell's his name? Gollum in this movie.
And Andy Serkis is scary.
Oh yeah, Andy Serkis.
Gollum.
Wait a minute. And I have to admit, when his arm got taken off in the movie, that shocked me. Like I felt like that was. I was like, whoa.
Ultron should have been doing that shit all throughout the movie.
Yeah, but Ultron's like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah,
he's too human.
Yeah.
He's way too human.
We haven't talked about Vision at all.
I mentioned.
I thought it was cool. I don't know.
But I mean, how do you think? Do you think he was handled well in the movie?
I think the best
because
way.
because they do set him up early in the movie, not as like Vision, the way he comes out like, okay, this is what Tony Stark and Bruce Banner were trying to do.
I like how he's Jarvis. He's actually Jarvis in the vibranium body. Right. So, I mean, I don't know. I thought that was a good way. I don't know.
Yeah, I think his character gets better in the next couple of movies.
Yeah.
Because it's his introduction in the third act. He's got the Soul Stone in his head.
Really? I mean,
oh, okay. What's up with Thor? What's up with Thor? He just all of a sudden wants to just fly away and find out what's going on.
They don't explain it because there's deleted scenes on that where he finds out about the Infinity Stones. But see, we don't get to see that. We get to see him in the water naked, and then he's just what?
This is why I say this is not a good movie.
Just okay. Go downstairs. Okay. Go tell mommy. Okay. Go tell mommy. Okay. Go. I'll be down in a little bit. Okay. Yeah, he's in the water, and then the stones. He talks about the Infinity Stones, and he's like like this, and then that's about all we see of him.
What are you trying to do? Like Elizabeth Hurley from Showgirls or something?
Yeah. Elizabeth Berkley. Yeah.
What about?
Yeah, Elizabeth Berkley. Yeah, the freaking This is why I say this is not a good movie. There's like so many problems.
God, I
over in Scarlet Witch.
God help me.
Okay, I liked them. They were pretty decent. This came out around the same time where we had the other Quicksilver and the other superhero movie.
Right.
It was Days of Future Past, directed by he who must not be named. The director of X-Men. You can't say his name nowadays.
I thought they were good. They were good. I mean,
I didn't care for Quicksilver, honestly.
I don't think they did enough with him. They actually got him right, though. According to the comics, they got his accent right, and they got his origin. All that was right, but everyone loves the X-Men one, so it's hard.
He's better.
Well, and then this movie has the first casualty, and they made it someone that you didn't care about. So it was kind of, I mean, like when he died, I wasn't like, oh no, not Quicksilver.
No wonder at the interviews and press conferences, Aaron Taylor always seemed like he was down, probably because his character dies.
Really? Like, did anyone feel bad that he died?
No,
Seriously?
No, there wasn't enough
time. A little bit.
Honestly,
like,
I wish they shot him in the face.
Get off your asses. Get off your asses. It's my job.
I will say that their accents are a bit hokey.
How about that Elizabeth Olsen, man. How about her?
She was better than than
You
him.
know what I mean?
Yeah. The best looking Olsen, right?
I think that part should have went to Kat Dennings.
We should have had a wet T-shirt contest.
I thought you were gonna say a wet dream. A wet dream.
Hooter.
That already happened.
So Kat Dennings.
Fucking Hooter.
Scat Man. The Scat Man.
Brothers,
Hooters.
Black Widow, Scarlet Witch, and Black Widow stand next to each other with Kat Dennings.
Hey, at least you remember her name finally.
Thanks to you.
Every time I call you, I'm just you're gonna be like, hello, me, like Kat Dennings.
Who? You know, Elizabeth Olsen, other than her,
She was good. Yeah, I liked
her.
her.
Rack, she was good.
I thought she was cool in that movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Once again, it feels like we're leaving Thomas out of the conversation. Thomas, you got anything to add to Sony?
I mean, I had a pretty good laugh so far with Rob and Dan with that wet T-shirt thing, but
Yeah.
but for me, Rob almost did a spit take right there. Anyways, but yeah, for me, you know, that's like the one thing, you know, you guys have pretty much said it already, where, you know, I feel like, you know, there could have, when Rob mentioned about Ultron in the comics, you know, how much of a crazier character he is, a much more darker character. I really think that would have been more interesting to go with if they did it in a movie form. Like, I think they made the character of Ultron way too human. And I think maybe they could have gone a different direction, but considering the MCU is more of this lighter, family-friendlier tone, I guess they weren't really going in that direction. But at the same time, though, you know, I like the MCU, like the lighter tone, but like once in a while, you know, I like to see some darker elements, and I would have liked to have seen the Ultron character from the comics in a movie form. I think that'd be kind of interesting, and I think you have the right guy in James Spader, because, you know, James Spader is always great at playing villains, but I just feel like they made the character way too human. I thought some of the stuff could have been cut out, like some of the humorous stuff made no sense. Because, like, you know, I will admit, the very first time I ever saw this film, way back in 2015, I remember saying, "Oh, this is the best Avengers movie ever," and you know, it was in the theater. It was a great experience in theater. But, like, you know, rewatching it again, like few years later, to get ready for this live stream, and I remember, like, now that I'm a little older, I kind of look at it now, and I'm like, you know, it's not necessarily a shitty movie, but, you know, compared to like the first movie, you know, there wasn't really too much to this movie compared to the first. I think the first Avengers just had a lot more going for it now that I watched both of them again recently. And, you know, I feel like, you know, I thought Loki was better handled as a villain in the first Avengers. I mean, there's nothing wrong. I mean, Ultron's a great character, and I like James Spader, but I think the way they wrote the character, I think they kind of wrote him way too human, and I think, you know, they could have wrote him a little bit differently and gave him a more darker tone. And I feel like, you know, some of the humor didn't fit. And overall, it was just one of those films that I remember being quite disappointed by now that I saw it again not so long ago. So I can't really say it's a great movie, but it's not necessarily a shitty movie, but, you know, it's just kind of
It has shitty things in it, that's all.
I wanted to see humans die, and we didn't hardly get any of that. Everyone got off the thing.
Yeah, but they addressed that in Civil War. We'll get to that when we get to it. But the casualties, you know. But yeah, okay. Before we wrap up,
There was a casual, wasn't it? Was Viola
Quicksilver?
Yeah, but remember Viola Davis' son.
human casualties.
Oh, Widow?
Wait, wasn't she in
What?
Civil War?
No, that wasn't her.
No.
It was some lady.
Oh.
You're talking about they got crushed by a building. Well, you know, it's he say, she say. So we didn't get to see that. So
They should have a flashback of us.
and Tony was always upset about just that one person. Like, well, then we don't have any other casualties.
Well, there was. It's just they don't really go that deep into it. No.
And by the way, Age of Ultron, by the way, on IMDb has a 7.4.
Yeah.
That's too high.
What was the first Avengers?
8.1.
Okay.
Okay, before we wrap up about Age of Ultron, I do want to give shout outs to these guys. They were commenting.
Yeah,
I didn't know this. I didn't know that people were commenting live, but it was
Yeah, I don't see.
Horrific Nightmares commented like almost an hour ago.
Oh
He said,
yeah.
"Hey guys,
all that. Not so long ago.
hey guys, I want to stop to show some of you some love." All right, thanks. And
Oh, yeah.
Peter,
Jason, thanks. Yeah.
Thank you.
Peter Freakout 10 says, "Hey guys, how are things going? Things are going pretty good."
Peter, what's up?
How you doing, Peter?
Uh-huh. So, because normally people don't comment when we're on live, so that's why I didn't check early on. So I apologize for that.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
So yeah, this movie ended up making 459 million domestically and 1.4 billion worldwide.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
Um,
But compared to the first Avengers, it got more lukewarm reaction.
yeah, I mean, I feel like yeah, and I think and
Go ahead. Oh wow.
now I'm trying to remember like is this higher than some of the other films that were in this phase 2? Let me see.
I got everything right here.
The first Guardians has a higher rating. Okay.
Yeah.
Winter Soldier, and Guardians have a higher rating, but Avengers has a higher rating than Thor 2 and Iron Man 3.
What was Thor 2 again? A 7?
7.
That's too high.
That's way too high.
That's crazy, dude.
The end credit scene in this one was Thanos. You see Thanos getting the gauntlet. He says, "I'll just do it myself."
Which makes no sense because
was he watching the whole time?
No, it doesn't make sense the way he got it because according to Infinity War, we won't get into that, but I'm just saying how he got it there doesn't make sense on how he got it at the end credit scene. So
continuity.
Well, hey, Marvel needs to step up to their
continuity
shit.
Yeah.
It's economic.
And the Stanley cameo in this one, where at the beginning when they're having that big party, he tries to outdrink all the other guys, but he gets drunk.
Yeah.
He says Excelsior.
He has an Asgard drink.
I like when Ultron quotes Pinocchio.
There are no strings on me.
Yeah. Disney. There's one thing before we move on to Ant-Man. I felt like this is the only performance Robert Downey Jr. did as Iron Man where I felt like he was kind of phoning it.
He was what?
Phoning it in?
Yeah, a bit. Not that much, but some scenes.
This was the start of Civil War. So.
Yeah, I know, but like his performance just in this movie alone, it's like he wasn't really as into it as he usually is.
I would disagree. I didn't notice anything.
I didn't notice anything either.
I don't know.
Quit making stuff up.
Maybe it's just me.
In the beginning, I felt like maybe he was not trying as hard, but then as the movie went on,
there you go. See, boom, for my point.
Well,
the part that they didn't show was when they all attended clown college, and they all became funny.
The part they didn't show was Tony fixed the tractor, Hawkeye's tractor. They should have shown that. That would have gave him more character depth, and I think it would have showed his acting skills.
I fixed the speeder. That's what it reminded me of.
I like how Hawkeye, all the Avengers in this movie, Hawkeye's the only one who didn't get brainwashed because he said, "I already been through that. Not a fan."
He's the one that's trying not to get with the giant green guy for sex.
All right, that was Age of Ultron. Overall, I think the so-so movie.
Hey, that's what we gotta say. I liked Hawkeye better in Avengers 2 than 1.
Oh yeah.
honest.
Yep. There you go.
I know it sounds like I was kind of shitting on the movie the whole time, but it's not bad. It's not that bad, but it's not really like.
Yeah,
Well,
I think a 7.4 is deserved. I think
No.
I would agree
It's
with
way
that.
too
I don't
high.
think
I don't agree with the 7.0 for football, though.
Okay, this is
I don't
this is
think
one
that,
of
I
personally.
think Thor 2 and that should be switched.
okay. Fair enough, I guess.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm kidding. I'm like,
I really thought you were legitimately serious.
I know. I'm looking at
you.
Wait, I'm looking at the scores and I'm like, wait, what is he saying? I'm like, wait,
He likes
I
Thor 2 better.
I'm like, wait, this no.
Kat Dennings.
Wow.
So yeah,
I think
After
7.4 is fine. No, Alex, that's too high for you.
yeah, it's too high.
I mean, I think it's all right. I mean,
I actually like Iron Man 2 more, to be honest. But anyway, after Age of Ultron came out, the same year we got the debut of the little guy Ant-Man. Nobody
Yep.
expected this movie to be much of anything.
I sure as hell didn't.
Ant-Man.
I didn't expect anything about
But
that.
it's not even like a CD level character in the Marvel comics.
Isn't he part of the original X-Men or X-Men Avengers? Is it?
X-Men.
X-Men.
I believe
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
part-
he is.
Yeah, there's like the Secret Wars and like West Coast Avengers. Yeah, there's different groups, but yeah, he is an original like member.
And this was directed by the guy who brought us Bring
Yes.
It On,
And Yes Man.
Love that
That's
movie.
Peyton Reed. I gotta be honest, Bring It On. This is off topic. Bring It On is a guilty pleasure.
Oh yeah,
It's a
definitely.
guilty pleasure.
I like Yes Man too.
That's a good
Honestly,
one, too.
Nah, not so much, but Bring It On, sure, it's good. But yeah, this movie again, it's another one where I was actually surprised that it was good.
It was.
I didn't expect much from it. But go ahead.
It was supposed to be directed by Edgar Wright.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I wasn't looking forward to it much anymore, because he wasn't.
what happened with that?
I think creative differences. I think.
Race differences.
Oh, one of
It
those
happens.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of those things.
That always
And-
happens.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, I thought Peyton Reed did a good job.
Yeah, he did.
Because he's never directed this kind of movie ever.
It's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids mixed with superheroes.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that because there's a sequence when he first shrinks. It reminded me of Honey and Shrunk the Kids,
Yeah.
except with just more CG.
Yeah.
I
But
think-
yeah,
Oh, go ahead.
what do you guys think about this movie?
I thought, it was just like with Guardians of the Galaxy. I didn't know who Ant-Man was, and I didn't like who's Ant-Man. Like I never heard of a superhero called Ant-Man, and I remember, just like with Guardians, I remember going into it and I remember having a lot of fun with Ant-Man. I thought it was a pleasantly surprised little hit for me, and I had a good time with Ant-Man. I thought Paul Rudd was good. I like Michael Douglas. I like Judy Greer. I think Peyton Reed does a great job directing. I mean, it would have been it would have been interesting to see like what Edgar Wright would have done if he was on board as director, because I like Edgar Wright. But I still think Peyton Reed did a really solid job directing this movie. I really do think it's a really solid film in the MCU.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
Paul Rudd I like Paul Rudd. I think he was great. I think that was great casting. And I like Evangeline Lilly, although I hated her haircut in the movie.
Her hair. Oh my God! Yes.
I mean, that's got to be from the comic, because who would pick that haircut?
Was that a wig?
I don't know.
Well, her hair was different in the second movie, so it's like, yeah, her hair was just what the hell?
Oh, and I got to point this out. I thought the de-aging was phenomenal at the beginning of this movie.
Oh hell yeah!
Michael
Yes.
Douglas.
Yes.
Yeah, the Star Wars movies need to really take notes from Marvel movies. I mean, Disney is with Marvel, but still,
Yeah.
look at Rogue Nation. Rogue
Nation.
One. Look at the end what they did with Leia. It's like, oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. I thought Yellow Jacket. I mean, he was fine.
I liked him. I like Darren Cross.
And Michael Douglas was good. It was a simple plot, but I think that was okay because of how the movie was more of a comedy than most of the time, I think.
Mhm.
So let me think. What else was there with that movie?
It's a heist film.
Yeah, I thought it had good pacing. There wasn't ever a time where I was like, well, this part was too slow, or
Michael Douglas was fantastic.
He was.
Yeah.
Like when they show the original, he's the original Ant-Man and the original Wasp, but what happened? Like that was a cool scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex, what do you got on this?
Are you talking to me?
They said Alex.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah, I mentioned this already. How this is a surprise. I didn't expect much for this movie, and yeah, it's like you said already. You mentioned it's a simple compared to like some of these other ones that we've been talking about tonight. Like this is more like a more simple kind of movie. It's a simple heist film by a guy who's trying to redeem himself to his family, especially his daughter, and stopping this bad guy. But I like the Ant-Man design of the suit and what it can do, and also the same thing with the Yellow Jacket suit. Like the designs are good, and the story is simple. I wouldn't say it's like great story, but for what it's worth, it's fine. Definitely more entertaining than Age of Ultron. The humor for the most part worked. I liked it, especially the Baskin Robbins sequence.
Yeah, that was funny.
Movie.
Yeah, that was fun.
Which is always very hesitant when it comes to product placement in movies nowadays, but they did well because it's okay, they made fun of customers, especially in the food industry. They just order stuff they don't even have. Which is it's true. Like customers can be the stupidest freaking people on the planet.
That is true. Yeah.
And I like how they have that joke throughout in the beginning, Baskin Robbins always finds out.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I don't think I've ever been to Baskin Robbins. If I had, it's only been once.
Never?
We had one around here.
Yeah.
Because I do have one around here, but I always usually buy ice cream at the store or Dairy Queen. Not really Baskin Robbins.
You need to go into Baskin Robbins and be like, I heard you guys always know.
Yeah, I should have done that. I should have done that the year came.
I recommend their.
I'm looking for Scott Lang.
Yeah.
I recommend their milkshakes. Definitely.
I bet if you went in there and said that, they'd be like, "Who? Who?" Like they wouldn't even. They wouldn't even understand.
So, do you want to order something or not?
Yeah, we go fruit fly.
I'll tell you what. If you guys are over here right now, I treat all you guys to Baskin Robbins right now.
Sure.
Nice. Thanks.
All milkshakes are on me.
All right.
Oh man.
I want a large size.
Want a large?
Yeah. But it seems like first of all, it seems like you guys don't have much to talk about this movie because it's so simple. It's it's a nice film.
Yeah, I mean,
there's not much.
The shrinking effect. Oh, sorry. I thought the special effects were really well done.
They were.
Let's talk about the dumb after credits thing.
Wait,
was it one of them?
Or I think it's the second. The second movie is
No. That was the second movie.
Wasn't there one? There was something with this movie though, with an ant, wasn't there?
What was this movie's end credits, Alex?
There was. For some reason, I'm blanking on it. Shit.
I thought that was a stupid thing.
Oh, Captain America. He's like, oh, waited here for something stupid. I thought that was funny, honestly.
Okay, but
No, that was Homecoming's end credit scene.
Oh.
No, yeah, it's funny because you said Captain America. No. This end credit scene, it was just a clip from Civil War, like where you see Falcon, Captain America, and he says, "I know a guy. I know a guy." Yeah. The other credit scene was like.
That's what we got to talk about. The Falcon scene that came out of nowhere.
Oh yeah,
that was a pleasant surprise. I did not see that coming.
That was cool.
Yeah, because this takes place like literally like around the same time Age of Ultron's happening. So Falcon's like at the Avengers headquarters where all the other Avengers are doing the thing in whatever fucking country they're in. But yeah, that fight scene actually was one of the best parts of the movie, with Falcon and Ant-Man.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
Even though maybe like it might have been tacked on, but if it was, it worked fine. It didn't slow the movie down.
I have a huge crush on Evangeline Lilly because I liked her from Lost, one of our favorite shows.
I never seen Lost. So.
Never watched Lost.
How dare you? You got to go do it now.
I already know how it ends, so what's the point?
Do it now.
You don't. Actually, you don't. No one does.
It's a
you got to
stupid
watch
ending.
the first episode all the way to the end. You're missing out.
No.
Never watched Lost.
Hey, we're not dead all along that everyone says. That's not true.
Everyone's gorillas. Well, Ant-Man, not much to. I don't know. I don't have really anything else to say. So, but it's good.
Well, you mentioned the aging effect. This is what it really showed. With this movie, and it gets even better when you get to the sequel. And some of the other movies, some of the other Marvel movies. Yeah, I like the little beginning where you see like Hank Pym, how he quit Shield. You see Howard Stark and Peggy Carter, which going back to Winter Soldier, we forgot to mention about the scene where Steve Rogers visited Peggy Carter in her deathbed, pretty much.
Yeah, and that was Haley, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. She that was her again.
She was aged, not de-aged.
Yeah, that's true. Did you like the little crew they had in the movie?
With Michael Pena?
Pena?
Oh, yeah, Michael Pena, yeah.
Yeah, I thought they were.
Yeah, I was fine with them.
Fine, yeah.
They're definitely a lot better than the little Thor crew.
You know? Oh my god,
a lot better.
No question.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were.
Kat Dennings.
They need to add Kat Dennings to that crew.
Maybe she'd be well liked there.
Also, thank you, Green Turtle Gaming, for commenting.
Someone else comment?
Yeah, Green Turtle Gaming. I don't know who that is, but thank you.
Thank you out there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, appreciate it.
The Stanley cameo in this one was around the end, where like they have that running gag in the movie where Michael Pena's character is telling the story. He goes on and on and on. He has the music. I forget the name of the song, but it was in the movie Jackie Brown. And then you have all the characters. He's voicing the characters in his story. So you get Stan Lee, Michael Pena's voice, as a bartender, and that's his cameo. I've noticed that Stan Lee doesn't get a lot of lines sometimes in his cameos. What the hell?
Yeah, he doesn't really.
Well, he's the OG of the Marvel, so. Hey.
Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. But this movie went on to make 180 million.
I think it's like 500 and some million worldwide.
519 million worldwide, which is
do we know the budget?
The budget was like 140.
I was curious because I remember they were concerned with it actually making a profit when it came out.
Yeah, because they didn't open as big as any of the other ones.
Nah,
but it still had a good run, and it did well in Blu-ray and all that stuff. So it wasn't it was a hit, but it wasn't like a huge hit or anything. Yeah. One thing though, like it's cool to see Paul Rudd in a superhero movie. Because okay, he's always like most of the time he's always in comedies, and this is mostly a comedy, but like, oh, it's cool. Like, oh, they made him a superhero.
Halloween, Curse of Michael Myers.
Yeah, he was a superhero in that one too.
Clueless.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul Rudd. Again, I think he was great as Ant-Man. I think they did good casting.
My favorite bit is when after he stole the suit, and then he's trying to, and then he uses it, and then he's trying to bring it back, and the cops comes like, I didn't steal it, I'm just returning something I stole. Oh shit.
Yeah. The Yellow Jacket fight was cool too, like when they're on the train track and then Thomas the Train.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. Thomas the Train. Yeah. That line where he said like, I'm just returning something I stole, it reminded me of like the movie he did, Our Idiot Brother, where he's like a dumbass throughout the movie, but like with good intentions. Like that's what it reminded me of, that line. Just brought me back to that movie. But yeah, overall we all liked Ant-Man.
Yeah. Sure, yep.
Really? There's not much to say about poor little Ant-Man? I thought we were gonna talk about this more than Thor: The Dark World.
I think a lot of times we talk about the ones that we didn't care the most. I think there's more to dissect.
More ranting going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have more to say when we rant about stuff.
Unless it's something that we really liked, then we can talk. Like we were talking about.
Elaborate on
Soldier and Guardians.
We were talking about Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
We're gonna call this stream Kat Dennings.
Yeah, she was the MVP of Phase 2. Clearly.
Both phases.
Yeah. But
yeah. Phase 3 too, when she shows up in Avengers 4 and saves the day.
She's gonna stop Thanos.
Yeah, that's true. That's the twist in the movie. She's the one that defeats Thanos. Yeah.
In the glory hole. Oh God.
But so yeah, that was our Phase 2 discussion.
Yeah, that was Phase 2.
Yeah.
Did we? So, did we rank the phase? I think we ranked Phase 1 last time.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, we did. Yeah.
You want to do that again with Phase 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
I guess I'll go first.
Okay.
So let me. I actually have the list right here. Let me see what movies were in Phase 2 again. So we had Iron Man 3, Thor: Dark World, Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Age of Ultron, and Ant-Man. Okay. So if I had to go from my favorite to least favorite, so I would, from favorite to least favorite, I would go Winter Soldier, then Guardians of the Galaxy, then Ant-Man, then Age of Ultron, Iron Man 3, and then Dark World.
You have my same list, so I don't need to say it. That's my same rank.
You're really the same?
That's the same one.
Okay.
All right, copycat.
Well,
I guess I'll let Dan go next time.
Okay, mine was very close to that list.
Okay.
Winter Soldier was first, for sure. Guardians of the Galaxy. This is where I would be different. I would say Avengers 2 and then Ant-Man.
Okay.
Oh.
I hear the groaning.
And then Iron Man 3 and Thor 2.
All right.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will go from worst to best.
All right.
Worst, well, of course, Thor: Dark World. Then Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Okay.
Wow, that low, huh?
Yeah. Then Ant-Man.
All right.
All right. And then, here we go. Iron Man 3.
You like Iron Man 3 better than Ant-Man, huh?
Yes. What?
Where do you live?
You know where we live in the same state. But, okay, one thing I do want to mention, I didn't forget to mention Iron Man 3. Like this, another thing I liked about the last action scene was the freaking it reminded me of Lethal Weapon a bit, where it was like you had Tony Stark and Rhodey with guns.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Mel Gibson and Danny Glover and Shane Blackwood. So that was done on purpose. So that's pretty cool. Appreciate the goodness of Iron Man 3. Okay, and then after Iron Man 3, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And of course, number 1 in Phase 2 is Winter Soldier.
All right.
Which is my second favorite, not to, I guess, give away the overall list, but this is my second favorite MCU movie.
All right.
Under Avengers 1. So, yeah.
That's my second favorite as well.
Yeah.
Overall.
Definitely in my top 5.
So we all had the top 2 of the Phase 2 were all the same for us, and we all had the same worst number 1.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the middle section was like all over the place.
Yeah.
I'm the one that liked Iron Man 3 the best. I figured.
Yeah, we didn't talk about Iron Patriot either. I just remembered.
Yeah, with Don Cheadle.
I like the War Machine suit better.
Iron
Which-
Patriot was kind of a nod to, of course,
Yeah,
in the comics.
and you get to see the he brings back the War Machine suit in Age of Ultron again. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's true.
Kind of shows like just better. So yeah, that is it for Phase 2.
That's right.
So I will say this definitely wasn't as long as the Phase 1 show. I don't think it was. It's a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Phase
we're getting. I think,
What was
I
that?
don't know. Phase 3 is
Phase 3, we might need like
it's 10 films, so
That's
Woo!
crazy.
10 films.
It's gonna be 5 hours, guys.
We might just have to when we were on Phase 3, we might just have to kind of
Split it
not
into parts.
but just kind of
There's not enough time.
well, we could do like say each movie gets like 15 minutes or something.
yeah, or I don't know.
Yeah, but we know we're gonna talk about Civil War for like an hour,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna talk about Captain Marvel like 2 hours. Mhm. But yeah,
Dark Three
no.
should be at least a minute. So
Sure.
What'd you guys say? Here's one. A good question before we close this out. What did you think?
Why is Gamora?
Yeah. Did you think Phase 1 or Phase 2 was stronger?
I'm gonna go
I think Phase 2 was a bit stronger.
2 for me.
Yeah.
Definitely Phase 2 because I feel like
Yeah.
it was Winter Soldier and Guardians and all that stuff. It was definitely the strongest one.
Yeah.
Phase 1 had Iron Man and Avengers, though.
That's true.
But this one had Winter Soldier and Guardians, though.
For me, I liked Winter Soldier, Guardians, Avengers 2. Like I said, I don't hate it. It's just
And this one had Iron Man 3 in it.
Ant-Man.
Who cares about Iron Man 3?
I care about Iron Man 3.
Phase 1 and Phase 2 both had a mediocre movie. Sorry, Alex.
True.
Incredible Hulk.
Oh, you Thor
Yeah,
1?
is better. Let's just
Thor
face
1?
it.
No,
It.
false. I disagree. I don't want to talk to you guys no more.
You're not really my friend. Remember? In Thor Ragnarok?
Yeah.
You're not my friend.
You don't.
See you later.
Yeah, Phase 2 was better.
Definitely.
Dan?
I mean, yeah, it does have Winter Soldier. I don't know. It's like
It's a
it
tie.
has 2 great films, but Phase 1 has 2 great films.
That's such a cop out answer. It's a tie.
It's a tie.
I think it's
Phase 3.
You know what? I don't
Phase
know.
3 is better anyway.
Phase 3 was super strong, but it also had 4 more films. So
Yeah.
That's cheating.
yeah, what they call it? They stacked the deck.
Can't wait for the Ravager movie.
I don't know. Seriously though, like, all right, Guardians and
Winter Soldier, awesome. Then you have Avengers and Iron Man that were awesome. Then you have like Thor 2 and Incredible Hulk that weren't very good. Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3 kind of cancel each other out because we all are in agreement they're kind of close, I think mostly. So then that just leaves Thor and Captain America 1 versus Ant-Man and Avengers 2. So really,
It's a tie.
if there's the same amount of movies and strong movies in each, it's probably just a tie. Then I mean, it'd be kind of hard to pick.
yeah, it comes down to did you think Thor and Captain America 1 were stronger than Avengers 2 and Ant-Man?
It's like rocket science, guys. I can't.
I'd say no.
So yeah, if you think Avengers 2 and Ant-Man are stronger than Thor and Captain America 1, then Phase 2 was stronger.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I would agree with that. If you guys did, everyone say Phase 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, we said Phase 2.
All right, fine. Majority
rules.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, anyone who's watching or is gonna watch this later, hope you guys enjoyed our discussion of Phase 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
I honestly thought we were gonna like really go back and forth about Iron Man 3, but it seems like we're mature adults about it, I guess.
Yeah, I was kind of in the middle. You guys didn't like it, and Alex liked it, so.
Yeah.
AKA, I'm right, and you guys are wrong.
Oh boy.
Okay. Any last thoughts before we go off air?
I'm trying to see if there's anything I wanted to mention.
Did you guys get your Endgame tickets?
Yeah.
We had trouble.
Yeah, I mean, we did.
Fandango crashed.
It wasn't just Fandango. Like, yeah, Fandango. I tried to get them through AMC first, and that website would crash. And so on Fandango, I was in a wait line for over an hour, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, the line is paused, and it was paused for hours. And then, yeah, so.
Yeah, I already got my tickets already ready. Me and my buddy are going to
go. Okay, Thomas, are you going to go to the Thursday night showing?
I think my buddy got his tickets for that weekend, not for Thursday.
We're going to see it opening night and ruin it for you guys.
Oh, I'm going to see opening night. Like,
I'm going to go on Facebook, and I'm going to spoil the whole damn thing.
You've been warned, Thomas.
That's
what I've been telling. That's why I've been telling people, like, if you just watch Thursday night, do it, because you never know, someone's gonna spoil it.
Well, the thing is, when superhero movies come out, I usually do stay away from spoilers.
The hype is unreal with this movie.
It is.
I've never seen it. Like, it's not even with Star Wars. Nothing ever.
No. To me, it's the level of Star Wars hype. What do you think?
Oh, I think it surpasses.
I think it surpasses it because
I don't know, man.
We never had problems.
I've never seen a web page crash and people.
When Force Awakens was coming out, the web page crashed.
Yeah, but people are selling opening night tickets on eBay for $500. That's crazy.
Yeah.
The fact that they haven't shown literally anything for this movie, I think that's what's making people more hyped.
Yes, you know what?
No,
that's a great point. Exactly. Yes,
I love that too.
And they can do that with any movie. God, think of how much money they would make.
And they said that some of the things in the trailer are not in the movie. They're just made for the trailer. So it's like
a lot of
we really haven't seen anything.
I love that.
They even stated that there's so many surprises in this movie. And Joe Russo showed. They had that conference in India just now. Yeah. He's like, he made a statement on stage. He's like, anybody here who has seen this stuff, please do not spoil it for the other people. He's like, there are so many surprises. He's like, we do not want it to be spoiled for anybody. And when he said that, I'm like, man, I wonder what surprises he's talking about. Like, I wonder what.
Kat Dennings.
Yep.
You wish.
God, I hope so. Man.
You know what, Alex, though, you did make a good point about The Force Awakens, because I remember when that movie, I'm going to be interested to see how it does comparatively as far as like the first week goes, because I think Star Wars crossed like $1 billion like in the first month or it was like within like 2 weeks or some crazy.
Yeah, Force Awakens and Infinity War are like the fastest ones to get to $1 billion.
Our theater was sold out, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Both Infinity War and Force Awakens have like 2 top opening weekends of all time.
Yeah.
People better shut up during the movie too.
I wonder if this
Oh,
movie.
you know it's gonna be loud as fuck.
I know.
But you know what though, the people that are there are gonna be like.
Yeah, they're gonna be.
It won't be like
the
assholes at some of the other films. I hope.
No, it's gonna be a lot of cheering and clapping and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Damn it.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. Yeah.
So like,
About Endgame.
Kat Dennings.
what?
Boobs.
Kat Dennings.
Oh. Yeah. What was that? No.
Hooters.
It was a t-shirt thing.
What T-shirt?
I lost my train of thought.
Endgame.
Something about being out. So
the surprises you expected.
the surprise. I'm just wondering. Oh man, it's just.
I'm really curious to see what surprises there are.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna. Okay, we can continue the discussion off air because I gotta stop the broadcast now.
Yeah. Let's stop the live.
Thanks,
All right.
everybody.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for everyone. Thanks you guys for joining me. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
See you in
Stay
phase
tuned for phase 3 next time.
See you in phase 3.
To be continued. Adios.
3.